Before we get started with tonight's episode, I gotta thank the super chatters from last episode. Both beloved channel members, DJ's Family of Nerds and The Ace Avenue. Check out these guys, their links are down in the description below. Fantastic content creators in and of themselves, talking about movies. In DJ's case, doing it in musical parody form. You will not be disappointed with what he puts out. And The Ace Avenue, also covering sports, TV, all things entertainment. Both amazing people. Check them out. Check out their channels. Thank you guys so much for not just being beloved channel members, but being huge supporters towards this channel, towards the show. You guys are the reasons why I'm able to do this every week, at least close to every week as I can get. You guys are why I'm able to do it consistently, at least, and it keeps the channel going. It goes a long way. Thank you guys so much. Alright guys, tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, we've got it, man. The first look at James Gunn's Superman suit. We're going to talk about that. Disney isn't really interested in 20th Century Fox IP at the moment. There's a new film coming out about the making of Rocky without the involvement of Sylvester Stallone. And Bob Iger gives us some more details on how we can expect the MCU to pull back on their quantity and put more quality into their projects moving forward. It's you, it's me, it's Zach Milne Talks Live, and we start right now. What is up, guys? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Zach Milne Talks Live. Unless you're joining us for the first time, in which case, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you. As you saw at the beginning of the show, we've got a bunch of topics we're going to go through. How this is going to work is we're going to go through these topics, and in between these topics, we're going to take your live comments and questions. So be joining us in the chat the entire show. Put your comments, questions, theories, anything that you want to talk about based off the topics or based off the topics, whatever you guys want to talk about, we're here to talk about, and I'm very excited to be joined by you guys today. Have you guys had those days where it just feels like nothing is going right? That's my night right now. So hopefully everything's going well. Hopefully everything is working. Let me see if I'll just check the live chat in real time to see if anyone's saying there's any audio issues or anything like that. No. Okay, perfect. So, guys, not only are we going to talk about some really great topics tonight, not only are we going to engage in a really great conversations tonight, Warner Brothers was kind enough to send me a copy of my favorite movie of the year so far, Dune Part 2. I was very, very excited to receive this in the mail today, and I don't live in the United States. I live in Canada, and this digital copy code only works for those who live in the United States. So guys, here's the deal. Behind me is that screen right there. You're going to see, I'm going to try and do this without screwing up the very first time. Right behind me there is the website that you're going to want to go to for the duration of this show. Go to wb.com/redeem movie. And here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to keep this website up for the whole show, because I'm going to be dropping the digital copy code to Dune Part 2 right behind me at some random point in the show. You're not going to know when it's going to drop. Heck, I don't even know when it's going to drop. But it's going to drop. It's just going to appear right behind the screen. And you want to make sure that you're on this website, wb.com/redeem movie, so that you can get it first. And then you will be the proud owner of Dune Part 2 in your digital media collection. And I'm rooting for all you guys. I don't have favorites. I hope that all you guys are able to get this code. But unfortunately, only one of you will get this code. So good luck to all. And with that said and done, I'll put this here just for the reminder. Keep that website up. And with all that said and done, let's move on. Let's take your comments and questions to start the show. Let's see what you guys are talking about at the moment here. Why can't I pull this up? Here we go. Now I can pull this up. We got Dakota Man Movies in here. What's going on, Dakota? Thanks for joining us, my friend. It says, hey, Zach, won't be able to make it to today's stream. Spoke too soon. Watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Well, dude, I hope you're having a great time, because you're watching it right now. I suspect there'll be a lot of people missing tonight because of Planet of the Apes. And you know what? Hey, if I had to choose between being here at Zach Milne Talks Live or being at Planet of the Apes, I'd probably choose to watch Planet of the Apes myself. But I appreciate all you guys who are here watching and joining us tonight. Film Review Central, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining. Just did a great collab with this guy. Everyone should subscribe to Zach Milne, by the way. Oh, thank you, dude. But my question is this: do you think Andy Serkis' Planet of the Apes trilogy is the most underrated movie trilogy of all time? Is the most underrated? I think it's definitely starting to get more loved than it was when it first came out. I'll definitely say that. I mean, I was there from the start. I remember watching. Okay, that's not fair. I didn't see Rise in theaters because no one would take me at the time. But I did watch Rise the minute it came out on VOD, and I rented it and I loved it. And then I was there for Dawn, and then I was there for War. So I've loved this trilogy for a very long time, and I'm starting to see more people coming around to it now that the new one's coming out. And even before the new one was coming out, it was starting to pick up some steam. So I will say there was a time. There was definitely a time where it was the most underrated trilogy of all time. But I feel like amongst film fans now, it's kind of like a consensus that it is one of the best trilogies of all time. Everyone just kind of feels that way. So I'm going to say no, but at one time it was. Also, we're starting off the show with the Ace Avenue sending in a $5 super chat. Dude, thank you so much for that. You've been so supportive of the entire show for so long, and I appreciate all your support towards our channel, dude. Like, our channel is thriving, and a lot of it is because of you and your support and everyone's support on here. So thank you so much to everybody, and to you especially, man, for that generous donation. You say, sup, Zach, loved you guys' ranking of the Star Wars last weekend. That was a fun show. Members Talk Live, that was a fun show. Can't wait to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes this weekend. Me too, man. I'm hoping to see it tomorrow. I'm hoping that it'll work out that I get to see it tomorrow. And also, guys, if you haven't checked out Members Talk Live that we did on Saturday, but it posted on Monday, really late on Monday, because I had a ton of issues getting this thing uploaded. It was driving me bonkers. It just was not cooperating. I got it up really late on Monday. But we did a full ranking of all of the Star Wars movies. It was a total blast. It was me. Have you seen that with T? Movie reviews with Ryan Lane, our beloved members. So much fun. It's up on the channel now. Definitely check it out. I did a couple new edit things with it. I tried some new edit techniques. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys like it. All right, we got The Laser. What's going on, dude? Thanks for joining us. Says, hello, Zach. It's been a while. I hit 1,400 subscribers. Congratulations, Laser. That is something to be very proud of. Hope you're good. I am good. I just made a video about if Inside Out 3, 4, and 5 might happen with Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3. Video coming tomorrow. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that, my friend. I definitely think Inside Out 3 is a possibility. I mean, Riley could only just get older. There's only more stories to tell with inside her head, which I think is very smart of them to do. As far as Incredibles 3, I think it's a possibility. And Finding Nemo 3, I honestly would suspect probably not. I just don't see them going back. Like, who's going to go missing now? Are they just going to do a Nemo's son thing? Maybe Nemo's daughter? I don't know. But I feel like Finding Nemo kind of ran its course. Finding Dory, I feel like, is the final stretch you can really take that franchise. But I could see a bunch more stories in Incredibles, and I could see a bunch more in Inside Out. So I think that's for sure. 80s given on the 90s. What's going on, my friend? Thanks for joining. It says, we're going to be eating good next year as film fans. I consider this year as a light appetizer. That's a really good way of putting it, is a light appetizer, because I ain't full yet, that's for sure. I'm hoping, I'm looking at the summer movie season. The more I look at it, the less excited I get. Deadpool and Wolverine is like what I'm hanging on to. Like the fact that we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, I'm just like, that is that's my summer. I'm just waiting to get to that movie, and that's all I want for the summer is that movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, super excited for that coming up in a couple days. But like, If looks cute, but I'm not really like amped for it. Inside Out 2 looks really good though. Despicable Me 4 looks fine. Twisters, I haven't seen the first Twister, and even the trailers for Twisters looks like it'll be a decent time, an enjoyable time, but not probably a fantastic movie. Then you've got A Quiet Place, looks kind of cool, the prequel that they're doing for day one. But when I look at the summer, I'm just kind of underwhelmed. I mean, Bad Boys 4 comes out, I guess, but I'm not the biggest fan of that franchise. So yeah, there's Furiosa comes out too, which is in a couple of weeks. But other than that, there's really not much that I'm like super anticipating for this summer, unfortunately. So yeah, next year, super excited for next year. The View with Drew. What's going on, Drew? Hey, everyone. What's up, Drew? Thanks for joining us. Says Red Comics says, "Hey Zach, I'm glad I've been able to catch the shows lately. What's the best cinema experience you had recently? For me, it's The Fall Guy." Well, thank you for joining us, man. Great to see you in here, Red Comics. It's great to have you in here. Yeah, The Fall Guy. I'm glad that it worked for you that well, man. It wasn't my best theater experience. You know what my best theater experience was, and it had nothing to do with the movie. It was Lisa Frankenstein. Because Lisa Frankenstein, I saw that with my brother. I'm pretty sure we went opening night, actually. I think we went to Thursday opening night. And no one was in there. It was just me and my bro. And we cracked up that entire time. We were making little jokes at each other. We basically turned it into Mystery Science Theater, like, of our own. Like, we had the theater to ourselves. We were roasting it. We were laughing at it. We were having fun with it. That's been my best theater experience by far this year. As far as, like, cinematically, though, Dune Part 2 has me mesmerized. Dune Part 2 transported me into a new world, and that was definitely a theater experience that I'm going to remember for a long time. By the way, don't forget, guys, digital copy code coming later in the show. WB.com/redeem-movie. Keep an eye out for it. The Ace Avenue saying thanks for the shout out. Well, thank you for all of your support and for what you're doing for our channel, dude. Like, honestly, you guys have really been just blowing me away with all the support, all the comments, all the likes, all the donations during the show, the super chats. I really do appreciate everything that you guys are doing for our channel. Our channel is doing so well, and it's because of you guys. It's only because of you guys, and I'm so thankful for you guys, and thank you for being here, and thank you. I appreciate all that you've done for our channel. It's incredible. Double Mint Variety, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Says, "Hey fellas, well hello. We're great to have you in here." 80Kid from 90 says, "I'm thinking the MCU will be a thing of the past. Just my opinion." Ooh, you know what? I disagree. I don't think it's gonna be a thing of the past, but I think the wide net that the MCU had, where it was able to kind of like bring in everybody. Like, there are people during phases 1. Especially during phase 3. I remember phase 3 is definitely when they were firing on all cylinders. There are people in my life that never talked about comic books and never talked about sci-fi, fantasy, anything of that kind of stuff. But they also loved the Marvel movies. Like, they were just such a broad appeal. They were so accessible. I don't know if we're ever going to have that again in the MCU, if they're going to keep going the way that they're going, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it'll be a thing of the past, though. I don't think they're doing as badly as many people think that they are. Also, we just got another super chat in here. We got Collector Movie Man sending in 99 cents. Dude, thank you so much for that. That is so generous of you. Thank you so much for sending that in. And you didn't even add a question or anything behind it. You just wanted to be generous and donate. So thank you so much, dude. It goes a long way. I appreciate that so much. Let's see here. We got The Laser saying, "Did you hear that Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3 might happen? That means that future Disney animation sequels are Toy Story 5, Zootopia 2, Moana 2, Incredibles 3, Finding Nemo 3, Frozen 3, and Frozen 4. Are they talking about doing a sequel to those? I didn't see that. They're talking about doing Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3. Finding Nemo 3 would surprise me. As I mentioned before, I think that would be surprising if they decided to go back to that. But Incredibles 3, I could see that, and I'd be excited for that, because there's definitely, I mean, it's a superhero franchise. You could tell multiple stories in the Incredibles world. So, but is Brad Bird coming back is what I want to know, because if Brad Bird's not doing Incredibles 3, not that I don't want it, but I would be a little bit more worried about it. Double Mint Variety says, "I spy Dune 2 Blu-ray." Okay. Yep, that's right, man. That's right. We're giving that digital copy code away. The View with Drew says, "What is your favorite superhero movie that is an origin story?" Mine is Batman Begins. Mine is Spider-Man 2002. Easily. And by the way, speaking of Spider-Man 2002, you guys can go to our community post. Michael Entity, one of our beloved channel members and part of our community over here. I was just over on his channel. We did a review for Spider-Man 2002, the first Sam Raimi film. That's up now on his channel. You can go check out all of our thoughts on that movie, as well as Spider-Man 2 is coming, I think. He's going to post it tomorrow, I think. I could be wrong about that. If he's in the chat, I might ask him a little bit later. But yeah, definitely head on over to his channel, Michael Entity. You can also find it on the community posts. I shared it on there this morning. Really fun conversation. Really great time with that dude. Red Comics saying all good. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you for... Sometimes the mic sounds okay to me, and then I get on and people are like, "Hey, I can't hear you," or "It's not great." So I appreciate you guys helping me out, giving me the feedback I need. Double Mitch Variety says, shout out Warner Brothers. That's right. Shout out to Warner Brothers. Thank you so much, Warner Brothers. You're awesome. Collector Movie Man saying, hey, Zach. Hello. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And thank you again for that very generous super chat. Red Comic says, I loved watching Indiana Jones for the first time recently, though I didn't like Dial at all, and Kingdom wasn't very good. What's your ranking? Yeah, I have a very controversial ranking of the Indiana Jones. First of all, I'm glad you checked them out for the first time, dude. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I don't really like Dial of Destiny very much at all. But I'm glad that you finally got around to seeing those movies, and it sounds like you enjoyed the Holy Trilogy of them all, so that's great. As far as my ranking goes, I do have a video up on the channel with more in-depth thoughts, well, with more thoughts to it, but my ranking of Indiana Jones is kind of controversial. It's from bottom to top, from worst to best. Dial of Destiny, Temple of Doom, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is what I was going to say, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then Raiders, and then Last Crusade. That's my ranking of them. Red Comic says, I haven't seen any Apes movies, but I've seen the trailer for the new one in cinemas several times. Do you recommend them? Highly recommend them. Especially the new ones, Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. Definitely check those out. I think you'll really enjoy them. And I think that you'll probably find more enjoyment in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes once you've seen those movies. Speculation, I'm assuming, because from the trailers, it looks like it's going to be a pretty close continuation of those movies. Other than that, the older ones, the one from 1968, the one that started it all, I think is still good. I still enjoy it. I watched it again actually not too long ago, and it has some slow moments for sure, but it holds up. I think it holds up fairly well. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, I don't really like that one at all. Escape from the Planet of the Apes is actually really 70s bonkers and weird, and it's kind of great. What is it? Is it Escape? I think it's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is next, and then Battle for the Planet of the Apes, I think. Which Conquest is okay. It's kind of like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but it all takes place at this like futuristic mall where apes kind of are slaves and work there. It's actually really weird. I think it's called Conquest. Watch Conquest for the Planet of the Apes from like 1980 something, and then watch Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's kind of like a similar story because it's all about Caesar's uprising to free in the apes, but they're completely different in the way that they're told. They're kind of fun double features to go back to back to, so I recommend checking out those as well. And yeah, Battle for the Planet of the Apes was okay from my memory. I haven't seen the older Planet of the Apes movies in quite some time. Collector Movie Man says, hey, Zach, just got out of the movie theater a little bit ago to go see Planet of the Apes. So you just saw Planet of the Apes. You say, I will be putting out my review later on tonight when I got home from the new Planet of the Apes movie and what I thought about it. I will look forward to checking that out after I see the Planet of the Apes movie myself, dude. So awesome that you got to see it, though, dude. I mean, a lot of people are seeing it tonight, which is awesome for them. I'm probably going to see it tomorrow. I'm hoping to. Toxic Gamer says, Olo, what's going on, Toxic Gamer 331? Thanks for joining us, my friend. I saw that the Zacks went up against Spoiler Kings. I didn't finish the video, but did we do well? It looked like we were doing kind of well. I don't know. Toxic Gamer 331 says, how's your day been? It's been pretty decent, actually. I had a pretty busy day at work, and then I was kind of rushing around here to get the show ready to go. I had a couple things ready to go from last night, but there were still some things that needed to be done, and yeah, and then, technical issues. As always, you gotta have technical issues, otherwise it's not a show night. If you don't have technical issues, are you even going live? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. I hope your day was good as well, man. 80s from 90 says, I love Superman's super suit. I mean, we'll talk about it. Toxic Gamer 331 says, 1 hour ago, I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. 1 hour ago. Nice, dude. What did you think of it? Like, non-spoiler thoughts, of course, but what did you guys think of Kingdom of the Planet? If you guys have gotten to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, tell me, what did you think of it? I want to hear some feedback. Toxic Gamer 331 says, sorry, Dune, it's my favorite film. Sorry, I'm reading that wrong. Sorry, Dune Part. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. Oh, okay. I'm guessing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is what you're still talking about. Sorry, Dune Part 2 is my favorite movie of the year so far. So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is now your favorite movie of the year. Awesome. That's good to hear. The Laser says, also, I now have almost 660 lists on Letterboxd. If you want to see my Letterboxd, it's the Laser Michael. All right, man. Awesome. I will check that out for sure. 660 lists. Holy crap, dude. That's crazy. Talk Gamer 331 says, I think it's my second favorite Planet of the Apes movie right behind Dawn. Ooh, Dawn is fantastic. So that is high praise. To Ace Avenue saying, congrats to Laser on 1400. Absolutely. Congratulations, my friend. Talks Gamer is saying, do you think we should get a Wreck-It Ralph 3? I'm not opposed to it, but I'm also not very excited about it because for me, I thought that Ralph Breaks the Internet was a big step down from Wreck-It Ralph. To me, Ralph Breaks the Internet was enjoyable enough, but it felt like it was supposed to be an hour-long special on like ABC Family or something, 45 minutes without commercials, and then they stretched it out into like an hour and whatever it was, hour and a half, hour 40 movie. It just didn't have the same cinematic feel to me, story-wise, as the first Wreck-It Ralph did, and I thought some of the Easter eggs and cameos and stuff like that was fun at the moment, but comedy-wise doesn't actually hold up all that well, except for the princesses. I thought the Disney princess scene was actually really funny, and Ralph Breaks the Internet was kind of fun and was kind of cool, and I still get a kick out of seeing them in that movie. But as far as the movie as a whole goes, it kind of made me done with Wreck-It Ralph. Like if we get an announcement that they're doing a third one, I'll totally be on board. I'll check it out. I might be a little bit excited because I do like the first movie quite a bit, but the second movie I was like, if they never make another one, I'm okay after this. We just got another super chat. We got Red Comics saying the new Planet of the Apes was shot in Australia. Well, that's really cool, man. You've got a lot of Australian movies coming out lately. That's awesome for you guys. And $2.99, dude. Thank you so much for that super chat. That was very generous of you. That was very nice. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Toxic Gamer 331 says, because the Fall Guy and Kingdom were amazing. Okay, so Fall Guy even went over Dune Part 2 for you. I cannot put Dune Part 2 under Fall Guy. I just can't do it. I enjoyed Fall Guy well enough, but I definitely was hoping for a little bit more out of it. But I'm glad so many people are getting a lot out of it, because there's a lot of people that are really happy with how that movie turned out. And like I said, I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I just wanted a little bit more. Toxic 331 says, we also got Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming out this summer. I forgot about that. That's on Netflix though, right? It's not theatrical. Oh, we also have Alien. I forgot about Alien. Alien Romulus is something I'm really looking forward to this summer as well. But for the most part, summer's kind of lackluster. And yeah, we do have Beverly Hills Cop 4. That's fair. I've only ever seen the first Beverly Hills Cop. I got to catch up on that franchise, but that's on, I believe that's coming out on Netflix. So there's definitely going to be streaming movies here and there throughout the summer that I'll probably stumble upon and discover and have a good time watching. But when I'm looking at the summer slate right now is when I feel a little bit disappointed. We'll see how the summer actually turns out, because hey, maybe all these movies are great. Maybe Twisters blows me away. Maybe Quiet Place Day 1 is the best Quiet Place they ever made. Maybe Despicable Me 4 is the best of the franchise. Inside Out 2 might surpass the first film. Like, there's ways that this summer movie season could end up being fantastic, but just on the surface, when I look at it, there's not much that I'm like, I would drop everything I had going on to go watch that movie, except for Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't care if miraculously I get the winning lottery ticket, even though I don't play the lottery. But if I get the winning lottery ticket and they're like, hey, Zach, you just won $50 million. Please be at the center at this time. And if that time matched up with my Deadpool and Wolverine ticket, I just lost $50 million. True story. Not true at all. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel I would be. In reality, I probably would go for $50 million, but still, super excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. The Laser said, someone said for Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3, get ready for a non-binary member of the Incredibles and a trans fish. Haha. I mean, it's probably not far off. I wouldn't be surprised, but Toxic Gamer 331 says, do you think Mufasa will hit 1 billion? That's tricky. That's tricky because Mufasa is... It's not The Lion King. It's connected to The Lion King, but it's not The Lion King. And I think a big reason why The Lion King was able to hit $1 billion is because it's The Lion King. Everyone loves The Lion King. Does everyone love Mufasa in The Lion King? So much so that they would go and watch a movie just with him, even if it has The Lion King attached at the end. I'm going to go out on a limb because it's Disney. I'm going to say yes. or just shy. I could see it. I think it at max probably makes 700 to 800, or not max, at minimum it probably makes 700 to 800 million dollars. I would, if the movie's good, of course, if audiences show up for it. But is it going to hit the heights that Lion King hit? I don't think it will, because it's not the Lion King. It's connected to the Lion King, but it's not the Lion King. And I don't think it'll have as many people dying to see it as Lion King did, because so much people are nostalgic about Lion King. So many people love the Lion King and that story, which this one just doesn't have that same appeal. So I think it's possible. I am even leaning more towards yes than no, but I'm going to end with saying probably not. But it will be a big hit, I think. I think it'll be huge. Talks Game with 331 says, when are you going to see The Mummy from 1999, Zach? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. When am I going to watch anything? When am I going to watch Unfrosted? When am I finally going to get around to... I've kind of been like in a Star Wars kick with my wife, because my wife let me put on Star Wars during Star Wars Day, and she actually got a little bit more into it than she was the first time we watched it. So now we're going through all of Star Wars. We just finished the prequels. Now we're watching the Obi-Wan series, which I'm watching for the first time in 2 years after being disappointed by it. So I'm curious to see how my thoughts are going to change once I go through the series again. But we're on Obi-Wan, then we're going to do Solo, then we're going to do Rogue One, and then we're going to do the original trilogy, and I think we're actually going to do the sequels this time. But I've been watching a lot of Star Wars, all this to say. So I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching The Mummy, but maybe one day. Maybe I'll do a movie reaction to it for you guys, if you are very interested in me seeing The Mummy like that. Toxic with 321 says, what are your 3 movies you love, Zach, but you don't plan on rewatching anytime soon, at least? That's a good question. You know, I really enjoy... They're all sad movies, obviously. I'm trying to think of some movies that I enjoyed watching, but I probably am like, oh, you know what? I really liked Just Mercy with Michael B. Jordan. That was a really good movie, but I don't really feel the desire to watch it again. There's a bunch of I find Saving Private Ryan kind of hard to watch, especially the opening sequence with them storming the beach, just because it's real. Like, people actually went through that and actually died doing that. So that's always kind of tough for me to watch. Rambo, I'll probably never, not Rambo 4 to be specific. I'll probably never watch Rambo 4 again, just because that's another one where it's like based on real events. People actually went through what's going on in that movie, and it's a tough watch sometimes for me. Sometimes it's very brutal and pretty graphically violent. So Rambo 4 is a hard watch for me. I enjoyed watching it when I put it on for the first time and finished out the Rambo series, but at the end of it, I was like, ooh, that was a tough pill to swallow. I don't think I can go through that again. Toxgamer331 says, I originally thought Dial of Destiny was decent, but over time I came to not be a fan of it, except for the opening scene. Yeah, the opening scene's alright. You got the aged Harrison Ford running around on a train. It's kind of fun. But, yeah, Dial of Destiny just didn't do it for me. Wasn't a fan. Toxgamer331 says, and also I kind of warmed up to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull originally. I didn't like it, but now I think it's alright. Yeah, coming over to my side. Bring it. No, I mean, I enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal. It's only the last act of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that I really kind of don't like. I feel like a lot of people's issues are the third act of that movie for the most part. I think it has a fun beginning. I even get on board with the fridge scene, whatever. It's kind of fun. It's ridiculous. He should be dead. I get it, but it's kind of fun. And then the middle portion I think is great too, a good adventure. I don't hate Shia LaBeouf as much. I don't know why people hate him so much, but I didn't mind him. I thought he was enjoyable. And yeah, it's just that third act that really brings that movie down, like a lot of people did. A lot of people think that. And Dr. Timothy, the one is saying the Zax won against Spoiler Kings. Yeah, because the Zax reigned supreme. That's what I thought. Double Mint Variety says, about the film I reviewed for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which, to be real, I didn't care for. Ooh, okay. All right. That's the first kind of like, I'd call that negative. That's the first kind of negative response from that movie I've heard so far. So that's gonna be interesting to see where I land on that movie then. And with that, guys, let's take a quick break, quick intermission from the live chat, but don't stop typing because we're gonna get right back to it. And let's go to our first topic of the night. If I can pull this up properly. let's go to the first topic of the night. And did I lose it? I think I lost it. Oh no. Oh no. Look at that. Zach's silly. Oh well. Anyways, we'll we'll just leave this on for now because I think I lost it. But anyways, the topic is this, guys. Ever since DCU has started and James Gunn announced that he's getting rid of Henry Cavill and he's doing his own Superman movie, and then he recast the Superman, he brought in David Cornsweet, the big question on everyone's lips has been, all right, what's the suit gonna look like? What's James Gunn gonna do with this Superman suit? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've been like curious to see David Cornsweet in the Superman suit, but it's not something that's like a make or break for me for the movie. Like, I wasn't like eager to see the Superman suit. Regardless of that, we did officially get a look at the Superman suit, and this comes to us from Variety, and it says, the new Superman suit has officially debuted as filming on James Gunn's Superman, formerly Superman Legacy, continues. The writer-director shared to his Threads account, because everything has to go through Threads with with this man, to show a first look at star David Cornsweet in the costume as the Man of Steel. The first thing that fans might notice is the suit is quite dirty and weathered, which suggests Superman will be doing plenty of down and dirty fighting in the movie. Gunn added on Threads that the first look photo was taken on the set by Jess Miglio and was entirely in camera. And just to give you guys more of a look at this thing, let's pull this up. Let's pull up the suit. So there it is. Bam. Everyone's been waiting. Everyone has been pulling their hair out, waiting for James Gunn to give us the suit, and we got the suit. Looks fine. Yeah. I mean, that's a Superman suit. I mean, it is interesting because there are differences to this suit than we've seen in previous Superman iterations. I do think that the cape goes out a little bit further than most capes do. It looks like it goes onto his shoulders, where I feel like most went more so around the neck. So that's kind of cool. It's got some of these like lines going down the arms. First of all, David Cornsweet, I mean, I think James Gunn said there's absolutely no padding done in this suit. This is all David. This is all the corn sweat. All the corn sweat that you can get is what you see. He jacked up. He looks great. Look at the muscle. Look at the biceps on that guy. I'm admiring David Cornsweet's body. You just got to give me a second here. One thing that is interesting, though, is they have him sitting down. And I think that's very cheeky of James Gunn to have him sitting down, because on Twitter, on Twitter a couple months back when he was talking about, as he's always talking about Superman, he asked the fans once, should we bring the trunks back? Should we not? You know, the red underwear outside of Superman's costume. Should we bring it back? Should we not? Fans actually started like debating online whether they should or shouldn't. And James Gunn actually came out and was like, yeah, I'm going to base the costume design on what the fans online think, which I thought was a little bit like, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you, James Gunn. But you'll notice that he's sitting down, and I think that's cheeky because it kind of looks like he might be wearing the red trunks. If I can't zoom in right now, but if you look past his arm and past his leg, it looks like there's some red on his crotch. It looks like it's a different shade than the blue that's all over the rest of it. So he's got a red crotch. I figure that red crotch is being covered by some red undies. Not that the crotch is red. Oh wait, that was not what. Okay, so. We're live, everybody. The crotch is not red. The red trunks are red, and it's covering his crotch. Okay, let's stop talking about David Cornsweet's crotch for a second. I also like the boots. I think the boots have a good length on them, going up to the knee. I love the face on David Cornsweet here. He kind of looks like he's relentless going back out there. I mean, like they mentioned, it's dirty. It's got some gruff on it. I actually really like the symbol on the chest, to be honest with you. I know that we got a little glimpse of that. They dropped the symbol on its own, and now we get to see it on the suit itself. I will admit, the first time I saw this costume, there was a part of me that thought CW. And I think that more so has to do with his surroundings than the suit himself. I mean, with the background and all that kind of stuff, it looks a little bit like a CW show to me, just a tiny bit. But as far as a first look at Superman's costume goes, I thought this was a fun way to do it. We got some imagery in the background, kind of alluding to maybe what's going on in the Superman movie, what the villain might be in the background there. I think it tells us a little bit about this Superman. about how he's already, it looks like he's already been in a fight, but there's always more crime to fight, and he's going back out there whether or not he looks kind of tired. Maybe he was just about to take a nap, and then that jellyfish guy decided to come to Earth and blast a laser, and Superman's like, oh great, now I gotta put my boots back on. Maybe Lois Lane was massaging his feet. Who knows what this guy was doing before that jellyfish guy interrupted his evening. But all that to say, I think the suit is nice. I'm more so looking forward to seeing it when it's in action, when he's moving around. Like in a trailer or in a teaser is when I'll get really excited about seeing this suit. But as far as the first look goes, I thought it was cheeky. I thought it was kind of fun for the fans to play with. I thought it probably gives us some Easter eggs for the movie. And David Cornswright looks great. I think David Cornswright, he's got that classic Clark Kent curl going on there. I think he looks like a great Superman. It is funny how much he kind of looks like Henry Cavill too, especially from the side profile. But as a fan, I'll say I'm satisfied. I think it looks all right. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think of this? What did you guys think of the Superman suit reveal? Was it everything you were hoping it to be, or are you disappointed by it? Do you think it looks like crap? Do you think it looks like the best Superman costume we've ever gotten? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. I can already tell it's going to be this kind of show. I mean, I don't know what's going on with me. I think it's just the day I had. I'm kind of crazy. So we're just going to keep going with it. And before we go back to your comments and questions, let's do one more topic. And I actually have the graphic for this one. Good job, Zach. I'm going to pat myself on the back there. I actually did it. All right. So, Disney, as we know, owns everything. They own everything. They got Marvel. They got Pixar. They got 20th Century Fox. They have it all. And with Disney having it all, there's definitely going to be some properties, some IPs, some franchises that are going to slip through the cracks when it comes to what Disney is going to develop and put out over the next coming years. And one of those studios that looks like their IPs may not be on the top priority for Disney is 20th Century Fox. So this comes to us. That's Superman. Here we go. This comes to us from The Wrap, and it says, between Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Alien Romulus, and Deadpool and Wolverine, Disney has heavily built its summer slate around the IP it picked up from 20th Century Fox. But Bob Iger says it's not a sign of a larger trend. In Disney's latest earnings calls on Tuesday morning, the CEO said that while major 20th Century Fox franchises like James Gunn's Avatar series will be a part of the studio's theatrical slate, because the last one made over $1 billion. I think it got like $1.7 billion. Of course, you're going to make more of those. It is unlikely that there will be a greater IP-driven output from that label in the future. This is Bob Iger saying, we continue to look at the library to see what can be mined, Iger said, but I don't think we're necessarily going to lean into that library, but we're going to look opportunistically at it. And I'm not going to try and reread that. That's how you're going to hear it. That's how I'm going to say it. That's how it's going to be read tonight. So Disney, not interested very much in Fox IP. And look, this is kind of disappointing because I think Fox does have some really great IP that is vital to be rebooted or be remade or even continued. I mean, we have seen that Disney is not totally negating Fox. Like this article mentioned, we got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming. We have Deadpool and Wolverine, which you can argue is more MCU now than it is Fox, but it's still incorporating Fox characters. So I'll allow that one. That one's Fox. I'll allow it. And they did have like Prey come out. We have Alien Romulus coming out. They had Home Sweet Home Alone on Disney Plus. God help them. They did that and they made it and I watched it. But so they haven't been completely ignoring 20th Century Fox. But when they bought 20th Century Fox, it really wasn't any mystery as to why they spent like $60 billion acquiring 20th Century Fox. You'd think they'd want to do something with their properties, but when they acquired that, they were really looking at the library to incorporate into Disney Plus. It was all about building Disney Plus for them back in those days when they acquired Fox, and they wanted to be able to put their stuff on Disney Plus. And now they have that. And yeah, when you're Disney and you have Marvel and you got Pixar and you've got your Disney animation and you got your Disney live action and then you got 20th Century Fox, which, let's face it, kind of the adopted child into Disney a little bit. It makes sense that Disney would want to focus more on their properties. You know, Marvel's thriving, Pixar thrives, the Disney animation does well, and you can only put out so much on your slate every year, and every year I do feel like Disney would probably lean more towards their products than Fox's products. I imagine that what we're seeing now will probably end up being the trend is we'll get a couple Fox movies here and there every couple of years. Probably most of their properties will be put onto Disney Plus because I think Disney is just going to want to focus on their stuff mostly. And is that a little bit disappointing? I think so, because 20th Century Fox was a great studio. I mean, 20th Century Fox is a legendary studio in Hollywood history. So to see it kind of be bought up like this, sucked into the mouse's vortex, and then treated kind of like the afterthought, that is a little bit disappointing as a fan. But from Disney's perspective, as a business side, I can understand why they'd want to, put more into the products that are going to fuel their parks and fuel their merchandise and fuel this for Disneyland and all that kind of stuff. But we'll have to wait and see what the future of Fox's legacy is going to be at Disney. But as far as this news goes, it's disappointing for me, but it's not surprising at the same time. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Disney ignoring Fox's output for the most part? Maybe putting a couple things here and there out. Does that make you upset? Are you disappointed? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. And with all that said, let's take a break from the topics, and we're going to take your live comments and questions. Just a reminder, everybody, you're going to want to have this up. Go to wb.com/redeemmovie if you haven't yet, because Dune Part 2 is going to be given away digitally to one lucky USA viewer tonight. So you definitely want to make sure that you're on that website, because it's going to pop up on the screen behind me at any point, and you're not going to know when, and I'm not going to know when, and ooh, it's exciting. It's exciting up in here, isn't it? All right, so with that all said, let's move on to you guys' comments and questions. We got Toxic Gamer 331 here saying, yeah, I meant to put 2 in that sentence. Whoops. I meant to put 2. Oh, I see. Part 2. All right, I see. I'm caught up, man. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I love War 2, but I don't think it has as much rewatch value compared to the other films. Dawn is my top 30 favorite movies of all time. Fair enough, dude. I mean, that is a phenomenal film, so I can't blame you for that at all. Have you seen that with T? What's going on, my friend? Thanks for joining us, beloved channel member, by the way. Saying, hey, Zach, what's going on, T? Definitely check out our Star Wars ranking that we did with T and we did with Ryan. It's up on the channel now, guys. It was a blast, and T had a very interesting list. I think you'll enjoy it. Toxic Gamer 331 says, Wreck-It Ralph is my 10th favorite movie of all time, but I do agree Ralph Breaks the Internet was a massive step down. Wow, Wreck-It Ralph is your 10th favorite movie of all time, dude. Wow, that is high praise for Wreck-It Ralph 2. Or for the first Wreck-It Ralph, sorry. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I like Doom Part 2 more than The Fall Guy. Okay, just a little clarification there. Perfect. All right. Toxic Gamer 331 says, The Fall Guy was more stupid, great, and Doom Part 2 was seriously great. Fair enough. That is a fair assessment. We did a jump there. Let's go here. There we go. Nathan's Reddit Movies. What's going on? Nathan, thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, hi, Zach. What have you seen for the first time recently? I saw The Idea of You, Rebel Moon Part 2, worse than Madam Web. I think Madam Web is still worse than Rebel Moon Part 2, but Rebel Moon Part 2 was not great. Shawshank Redemption, nice. Schindler's List, RoboCop, man, I watched RoboCop for the first time as well, like, a couple weeks back. I actually have a ranking video of all 4 RoboCop movies, so once you're done going through that, check out the ranking video and let me know what you rank the RoboCop movies as. I really enjoyed RoboCop, the first one. The rest of them, not really. Atomic Blonde and Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is so good. Shaun of the Dead is so good. I'm so jealous you got to watch that for the first time recently. As far as what I've watched for the first time recently, I watched, this isn't a movie, but I watched it's like a stand-up show of John Mulaney. I think it's called We Live in L.A. or something like that. I was watching that not too long ago, and I was enjoying that. I love John Mulaney. I can't say that I've seen anything new for movies, though. I haven't been able to haven't chosen to make the time to watch anything that new. I watched Fall Guy, and that's the newest thing I saw. I'm going to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes tomorrow, which I'm super excited about, but yeah, I wanted to get around to watching Unfrosted on the weekend, but the weekend just got too busy. I just didn't get around to it. So yeah, I haven't really seen anything new recently, unfortunately. Toxic Gamer 331 says, are you going to be seeing If and Garfield, Zach? If, honestly, I'm probably going to miss out on, because If is next weekend, and next weekend I'm out of town. And I don't think I'm going to take time out of my plans out of town when I'm visiting people to go watch If, to be honest. Unless someone else wants to go with me, maybe. But I'm probably going to have to end up missing out on If, which I'm not that upset about, and Garfield, if I have nothing else to do, maybe, because I'm seeing Furiosa. Furiosa is the same day as Garfield. There's a movie that's the same day as Garfield. I think it's Furiosa, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, if I have nothing else to do, if I have the time to spare, maybe I'll pop in and check out Garfield. But am I anticipating Garfield? I would be lying to you, my friend, if I said I was, because I'm not. Nathan Jenner Movie says, most anticipated movie comes out Friday. Extremely excited. Yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm so excited. I hope it's great. I really do. And I think it will be, because I saw on Twitter some early reactions. People were giving it some positive word of mouth. I think Sean Chandler even said that it's guaranteed to be in his top 10 film of the year. So that's pretty promising. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Talks Gamer 331 says, I fully agree about the final act being the worst part of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, it just kind of goes off the rails, and the aliens don't really work for me. But everything up until that point, I really enjoy. Even the jungle chase is kind of fun, even though it's kind of poorly constructed and the CGI is kind of noticeable, and you got Shia LaBeouf swinging through the vines with monkeys. Still kind of fun. I still kind of enjoy it. It's not like the Indiana Jones films have always been serious anyways, you know? That was just like 2008's version of not being serious. Nathan Jenner Movie says, a question for you, Zach, and the comment section. I'll be watching a movie tonight. Which one should I watch, Monkey Man or Abigail? Also, how many movies have you seen this year? I have seen 29. When people ask me how many movies I've seen this year, I assume they're only asking me about new movies like that have come out in 2024, because that's how I count it. So I've seen 20. I've seen 20 new movies this year, which I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm keeping up with the movie watching this year. I'm trying to get to last year I hit 66 films. I'm hoping to get at least 75 or 80. 75 or 80 films this year is what I'm hoping for. As far as your question, I may be in the minority. Also, they're completely different movies, and I kind of look at movies for what they are. So, like, for example, Monkey Man is an action revenge tale, and as an action revenge tale for Monkey Man, I thought it was all right. I definitely enjoyed it, but it wasn't like my favorite. Like, many people loved this movie. Many people said it was like their favorite of the year. It's not even close to my favorite of the year. It's probably not going to be very high when I rank it at the end of the year, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It does kind of lose me with some of its politics in the middle, though. And the action's fun when it's there, but it's honestly not there as much as I wanted it to be. So Monkey Man, good movie. Not as good as I wanted it to be, though. Abigail, though, killed it for what they were going for a vampire flick about a ballerine little girl that kills all her kidnappers, traps them in a house, and it's so much fun. I loved Abigail so much. I thought Abigail killed it, and for the genres that they are, I thought Monkey Man was good in its genre. I thought Abigail was exceptional in her genre. So if you're asking me, and they're completely different movies, but Abigail is the one that I enjoyed more. So I'm going to say Abigail, especially if you're in the mood just like to have fun and laugh and just have a good time. I'm going with Abigail, but I'm sure there's many people in the comments that would disagree with me, and we'll tell you to watch Monkey Man, and I just hope you'll love both of them when you watch them, dude. Talks Gamer 331 says, Film Stock didn't like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes either. Ooh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I wonder why Chris didn't like it. Red Comics says, the suit looks awesome. I love the new 52 Kingdom Come inspirations. There is a little bit of that. You're right. David is Superman. I'm waiting until I see his performance before I say David is Superman. But I think he has a very, very high chance of being a great Superman, and I think there's a lot of potential there for him. He definitely has the look. He definitely looks good as Superman. And as expected, the movie looks great visually and practically. Even the background is all in camera. I mean, again, the photo looks really good visually and practically. I mean, we can't judge the movie just yet. This is just a photo. It's just David Cornsweat in a Superman costume sitting down on a chair putting some boots on. You know, it looks good. The suit looks decent. It's a Superman suit. They accomplished that. It looks like Superman. They did their job there. They got him to look like Superman. We can't base everything in that photo for the movie, though. I mean, hopefully the movie looks just as good as this photo. Hopefully the cinematography is great. Hopefully everything that you're saying in this comment is exactly that. Hopefully they nail it. I'm just saying, let's not prematurely say anything before we actually see anything from the movie, because this really isn't that much to me for the movie. This doesn't really compare to having actual footage or a teaser or something come out from the movie. So let's just wait. Let's just wait a little bit. But I agree with you, Red Comics. It's very hopeful. It sets them in a very good direction off the start. The Laser says, also a new Deadpool 3 clip where we see Giant Man head opening up with a skull head. Deadpool says Paul Rudd finally aged. Oh my gosh. Is that a real clip, or did you just make that up? Because if you made that up, that is brilliant. If that is a real clip that actually got released, that makes me so happy for. Oh my goodness, that is funny. That's funny. Is that real? I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see anything from the movie. Like, even reading that, I'm like, I like that. That's a funny joke. I wish I heard it in the movie a little bit, but that's funny. The temptation to watch that clip, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want to watch the clips. I just want to watch the movie when the movie comes out. I hope that they don't go overboard with the marketing. Like, I hope that Kevin Feige and Disney just let Ryan Reynolds I hope they let Ryan Reynolds do what he did with Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 and just let him take care of the marketing. Let him just be Deadpool in various situations in various locations and just let him do his thing. Do not show us too much of this movie. Do not go overboard with that. And but that is really, I love that. That is really funny. That is one of those jokes where it's like, I wish I had thought of that, because it's right there. It's right there. I could have said that in my trailer reaction, but I didn't. And I'm disappointed. I should have said that, because that is brilliant. I love that. Angie Reviews, what's going on, Angie? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, hi, so glad to catch you live tonight. Well, so happy to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to join us, and thank you for choosing to be here. It's an honor. Thank you so much. The View with Drew says, what do you think is Jeremy Renner's best performance? I think The Town. He's very good in The Town. He is very good in The Town. I really like Wind River, which I don't think many people have seen. That's Hawkeye, and that is Scarlet Witch. Funny enough. Wind River was really good. I thought he was really good, and that is very underrated. Wind River. Can't say my R's well, and that's the one title that always trips me up. Wind River is phenomenal. It's a great movie. I love that movie, and it's completely underrated. So if you haven't seen Wind River with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, definitely check it out. Great movie, and not enough people talk about it. I just had something like open up on my... what is this? I don't want this. Get off here. Remind me later. What the... That was so weird. Something just totally took over my entire screen. Like, everything was just gone, and it was like, hey, do you want to install this? And I'm like, no, I don't want to install that. I'm in the middle of a live show here, people. Where were we? What were we talking about? Anyway, Talking Gamer 331 says, what do you think is an overrated movie that came out in the last 5 years? Oh, an overhated movie. What is an overhated movie that came out in the last 5 years? 5 years, what is that? You're making me do math. 2019? Is that 5 years? 2019. In the 5 years, what is an overhated movie? Black Widow was kind of overhated, I thought. But I don't really want to go with MCU. I want to go with something like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Probably just Black Widow. I don't know. What came... You know what? Let's go here. Let's go to Google. Let's pull this up. Where is it? Right there. Let's just take a gander. Because really it was only 2019 that had movies, right? We didn't really have anything in 2020 or anything like that. What was overhated in this year? Let's see what we got. We got Far From Home. Far From Home is getting a little bit more hate nowadays. I think that could be considered overhated nowadays. You could also say that Avengers Endgame is also kind of getting that overhated treatment. You know what? Glass being overhated. I didn't think Glass deserved to be overhated. I mean, I can see why some people don't like it, but a lot of people hate Glass, and I enjoyed Glass. I thought it was good. Some people really hated Detective Pikachu. I thought Detective Pikachu was cute. Joker, I think, is more loved than overhated, I would say. What else came out? What else can we look at here? I hated Murder Mystery. Uh, just that's something I didn't like. Parasite was fantastic. I don't know how people feel about that. Ready or Not is so underrated. Now I'm just kind of going through movies that I think Ready or Not was so underrated. I don't know if people liked that or hated that. I don't know, but it was great. I'm gonna extend this a little bit so you guys can see it a bit more. Let's see here. Anything else on here? I think the one that sticks out to me the most was Far From Home. I hated Gemini Man. Gemini Man was awful. 5 Underground. You know what? 6 Underground. 6 Undercover. What? 6 Underground. That's what I'm trying to say. 6 Underground. This Michael Bay movie got trashed when it came out, and it was on Netflix. And you know what? I didn't mind it. At least I remember not minding it. I only watched it once, and I thought it was enjoyable. I thought the action was cool. I kind of liked the characters. Maybe I have to watch it again, but this was really hated when it came out back in 2019, and I didn't think it was that bad. Other than that, let's see here. John Wick 3 was obviously loved. Yeah, as far as that goes, I think I'm going to go with Spider-Man Far From Home for now. Even though I said I didn't want to do a MCU movie, I ended up doing an MCU movie. I did not like Lego Movie Part 2. I thought that was really bad. Knives Out was great. Do people hate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I feel like this is kind of like switched around on some people. I feel like I hear a lot more people say that this is not a good movie than I hear people say it is a good movie. And I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so that's going to be up there too. Anyways, all that to say, probably Spider-Man Far From Home. Even though I went into that saying I'm going to find something other than an MCU movie, I come out with an MCU movie. Isn't that just a typical shill of me? Nathan's Random Movies says, about to shoot my Rebel Moon 2 review right now. Well, dude, I hope you have a great time with that, man. More than I had a great time with it, because I didn't have a great time with it. I didn't really even have a time with it. I just had it, and I didn't like it. So I hope it. Oh no, you're doing your review. What am I talking about? I hope you loved it, and when I watch your review, I hope that you loved it. But I have a strong feeling you probably didn't. Because you told me that you didn't. Talks Game with 331 says, also, same with overrated movies that came out in the last 5 years. Oh my goodness, do I have to go back to the list? I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't think of that off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Talks Game with 331 says, playing Fortnite rocket racing while watching you at the same time. Well, always a pleasure to be a part of your multitask, man. Always an honor. Thank you so much, man, for including me in that. Talks Game with 331 says, Sean Chandler and 3C liked Kingdom. Oh, okay, perfect. That brings me some hope, man. I enjoyed. What could that be? What could that be? Who saw me getting ready to put this up? Are you guys ready? What could that be? That is, of course, the code for Dune Part 2. It is the digital copy code for those living in the United States. If you're on WB.com/redeem-movie, pop in this code if you can see it. I hope you guys can see that okay. Pop in this code, and Dune Part 2 will be yours to own on digital media. Totally doing my announcer commercial voice. And also, if you do win this, please put it down in the chat. I want to congratulate you. I want to celebrate with you. If you are the person that typed in the code the fastest, let me know. We want to celebrate. And some people want to yell at you, but I won't let them. I'll do my best to prevent that. And with that, guys, let's take one last intermission, and let's pop out these next two topics, and we'll go from there. So let's go here and let's do this one. All right. If I can put this up properly. There we go. All right. So one of, if not the most popular film franchises out there is the Rocky franchise. I mean, Sylvester Stallone, it basically is what made Sylvester Stallone who he is today. I mean, obviously he played Rocky far into his career, basically to the end of Rocky's life. Then we got the Creed films. There's been a falling out between the Creed creators and Sylvester Stallone. Rocky's kind of absent from the films at this point. But regardless of all that, Sylvester Stallone will always be the person you think of when you think of Rocky and the Rocky franchise. So it's actually kind of interesting to me that they are making a movie based on Stallone's journey to making Rocky without the involvement of Sylvester Stallone. This comes to us at the moment. This comes to us from IndieWire. And it says, the film is titled I Play Rocky. By the way, this will be directed by Peter Farrelly, who just did Ricky Stenicki, which I really didn't like Ricky Stenicki, but I'm not going to put all my thoughts on this guy on that one movie. So, I digress. The film is titled I Play Rocky, and per its official logline, which never names Stallone directly, which is very interesting, the film follows a struggling actor with a partially paralyzed face and a speech impediment who writes a script that a big movie studio wants to buy, but he refuses to sell it unless he gets to play the lead. The logline continues, turning down an offer of life-changing money, he instead works for pennies to get the movie made with himself in the starring role. Casting is underway for who would be tapped to play Stallone, or at least the person inspired by Stallone. The film will be presented to buyers at the upcoming Cannes Film Festival market. It's being presented to buyers by CAA domestically and by Film Nation Entertainment internationally. Farley is producing with former Warner Brothers film chief Toby Emmerich and Christina Baja. Peter Gamble is writing the script for the film. I've been a fan of Peter Farrelly as both a filmmaker and a person since getting to work with him on the music for Dumb and Dumber. But it was Green Book that made me think of Pete for this inspiring screenplay, Emmerich said in a statement. Christian Baja and I feel blessed to have Pete at the helm for this movie, and like the unknown Stallone starring in Rocky, Pete will be conducting a worldwide search to discover another actor who just needs one shot in I Play Rocky to show the world what he can do. All right, so there you have it. That comes to us from IndieWire. So, couple thoughts on this before we address the elephant in the room. I really like this idea. Because I think Stallone's story of coming up with Rocky and fighting for the role himself is a really inspiring underdog story in Hollywood. I mean, it lends itself to the formula of a Hollywood movie. There is so much in this that will make this character so likable, that will be so engaging with the journey, will be so interesting. It'll be a period piece back in probably, when did Rocky come out? Like early 70s. This will probably take place like late 60s, maybe early 70s. It'll be a period piece. We'll get to see old classic Hollywood kind of come back in this movie. There's a lot in this movie I think is a great idea to explore. This is a great story to tell. On top of that, I like the fact that they are going for an unknown actor. I think it kind of lends itself to the whole theme and essence of the story of not just Stallone, but also this movie and what Rocky was all about. So I love both of those decisions. Peter Farrelly, as the director, he has done good stuff for sure, but the last thing he did for me was Ricky Stenicki, and I thought Ricky Stenicki was Ricky Stinky. I thought it was awful. I thought it was terrible. Maybe not terrible. It had its moments, but I didn't like Ricky Stenicki. So you go and you get this guy to do this story, which I just hope that he can pull off the heart and the feel-good story that this has so much potential. It is perfect. It is ripe for all those things. This could be an excellent movie. Why isn't Sylvester Stallone involved in this? I mean, there's part of me that's like, did you at least reach out? Because the article never really talks about that. If you go further and you read along, it doesn't say that there was any reaching out to Stallone. It doesn't say anything about Stallone approaching them or being turned down by them. Nothing like that. And the fact that they're even like, we're doing the Rocky story, but we're not going to name him Sylvester Stallone. We're not going to name him Stallone. We're gonna make him a new person that will be inspired by Stallone, but we're going to tell Stallone's story through that. I just hope, because I know that Sylvester Stallone has really burned some bridges when it comes to Rocky. I mean, he has famously or infamously gone after the producer Irwin Winkler, I think is his name, Irwin Winkler, who produces all the Rocky films. He went after him, called him a parasite, basically. It was all money-fueled, of course. He went after the people creating Creed. He talked about how he didn't like Creed 3's direction. He was very open about how he did not agree with what Michael B. Jordan wanted to do. They wrote him out of the movie. They basically kicked him out of the franchise. So Sylvester Stallone has definitely burned some bridges. Now, it doesn't sound like this movie is really connected to Rocky and the Rocky creatives and stuff behind the scenes. So I don't really know if that conflict and rivalry between the producer and Stallone would really affect Stallone not being involved in this. It just comes across to me as a little bit distasteful. You know, like, what? This is Stallone's story. This is not just Stallone's story. This is Stallone's baby. Rocky is Stallone as much as Stallone is Rocky. in my mind. I mean, he owns this character. He is this character. When you think of Rocky, you can't help but think of Sylvester Stallone. So the fact that they're kind of trying to avoid and tiptoe around Sylvester Stallone while making this movie, I don't see the fans embracing that. Personally, I feel like the fans are going to call that out. So I'm hoping that down the line, hopefully this is just like just not public news yet, or maybe they're still early on in their development, because like it says, they still haven't cast the person yet. So maybe they haven't even gone to ask Stallone yet. Maybe they have and Stallone declined, and that's just not public knowledge. Regardless, I hope that this gets sorted out quickly, because this sounds like a great idea. I think this is a great story to tell. This could be a really great, in a way, this could be a really great biopic. But I do think it will lose something if you don't have Sylvester Stallone at least approached to be a part of it. So hopefully that is a correction they can take, because everything else about this sounds great to me. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of a movie based on Stallone's journey to getting Rocky made, but without Stallone attached and even without Stallone's name anywhere on it? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. And with that, we're going to go to our final topic of the night, and then we will take your live comments and questions for however long you guys want to go for. So, our last... Oh, whoops. Where did it go? Where did my image go? SpaghettiOs. Zach messed up again. This is live, guys. This has been a show, hasn't it? This has been a show. Why is this gone? Why don't I have this anymore? That's frustrating. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna roll with it. Because you know what? When technical difficulties happen when you're live, you're still live. So you just gotta go with it. All right. Anyways. Topic number, whatever the heck we're on. Topic number 4. Oh, man, what a show. Okay, topic number 4 is this, guys. It is no mystery and no secret to the MCU fans that the MCU is no longer in their heyday. The MCU, while I don't think it's gone off the rails as badly as some people think that it has, I still enjoy the MCU. I still think that they put out at least enjoyable content. It may not be great anymore. It may not be the best stuff I've watched each year like it was in Phase 3. But I've still enjoyed what I've gotten from the MCU. But even someone like me, even someone who is still on board with this franchise and is still trucking along, still enjoying their stuff, I can even admit they took a real step down with Phase 4 and even into Phase 5. And a lot of that is due to the fact that there's just been too much. It's been diluted, and they've been putting out way too much on Disney Plus, in the theaters, connecting it all too much, making too much homework for the audience. It has just gotten overloaded with too much. Well, another person that has recognized that is not just the fans, but Disney itself, Bob Iger. And Bob Iger has talked about in the past how his focus right now for Marvel Studios is to get them back on track by doing quality over quantity. I almost said it backwards. That's why I said it weird like that. But he wants to get the quality back over the quantity of Marvel. And up until this point, they've talked about it. They've said there'll be less Disney Plus shows. They say there'll be less movies. They're really going to start to focus more on their but we've never really gotten that deep into their thoughts of how they want to accomplish that. Well, that all changed on Tuesday when Bob Iger was on a Disney screening call, and he gave some details on what their plan is moving forward to get the MCU back on track. This comes to us from... do I not have this either? What the... There it is. Okay. Did I almost freak out? No. Okay. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Says, on Disney's fiscal second quarter earnings call, Disney CEO Bob Iger told analysts that the company is finally moving away from a vestige, basically... What am I saying? Moving away from a vestige, basically a desire in the past to increase volume. Oh, okay. I get it now. I don't know why I couldn't read that properly. Disney CEO Bob Iger told analysts that the company is finally moving away from a vestige, basically a desire in the past to increase volume. I've been working hard with the studio to reduce output and focus more on quality. That particularly is true with Marvel, he added. We're slowly going to decrease volume and go to probably about 2 TV series a year instead of what had become 4, and reduce our film output from maybe 4 a year to 2, or at the maximum 3, Iger added. we're working hard on what that path is. We've got a couple of good films coming in 2025, and then we're heading to more Avengers, which we're extremely excited about. Avengers Kang Dynasty is still listed to come out for 2026. Overall, I feel great about the slate, he continued. It's something that I've committed to spending more and more time on. The team is one that I have a tremendous confidence in, and the IP that we're mining, including all the sequels that we're doing, is second to none. All right, guys. So I just want to read that one last time. We're slowly going to increase volume and go to probably 2 TV series a year instead of what had become 4, and reduce our film output from maybe 4 a year to 2, or at the maximum 3. So that comes to us from Bob Iger himself. And this is great. This is great. This is what I want to be hearing from this company, because what I love about this, I love a company, I love anybody really who can look at what they're doing, notice that it has issues with it, the fans aren't liking it, the fans have problems, and taking what we are saying, taking what people are actually feeling to heart, and using that to course correct and fix it for us. Sony, take notes, man. Stop with your Sony Spider-Man list verse. We don't like it very much. Make it better. And this is what they're doing. They're noticing that the MCU fans are not as satisfied as they used to be, and they're trying to fix that. And the way that they're going about fixing it, they're going back to what made them work in the first place. Now, we didn't really have TV shows in phases 1 through 3. I think going down to 2 a year is perfect. I think that that's a great limit, because if you want to watch the shows, you still get shows throughout the year, but it doesn't feel like you're constantly behind on shows. If they put out one, like let's say they put out 2 shows, let's say they put out one in like February, March time, and then they put out another one in like September, October, or even August, September, somewhere around there. Give them some room to breathe. Give people a chance to catch up on the last show that just came out. I think that's only going to help their shows on Disney Plus and help the movies as well. And I also love that they're going back to the whole maybe 2 films a year, maybe 3 films a year, because what that's going to do is, first of all, help Kevin Feige out, man, because Kevin Feige, he was stretched way too thin. They were putting out way too many movies and TV shows, and Kevin Feige just couldn't even focus on one to make it great. He was pulled in every other direction every single day. This gives Kevin Feige the chance to just focus on a couple projects at a time, give his input, make them the best that they can be, give all the focus to them, and that's what made Marvel thrive in the past. That is why Marvel worked so well in phases 1 through 3. And there is that question of, is the damage done? Is Marvel done at this point? Will they even be able to recover the way that they're hoping to recover? I think yes. I think they will. It's not like their films, besides the Marvels. The Marvels was a straight up bomb. The Marvels did horribly for Marvel. But up into the Marvels, the movies were still doing pretty decent in the box office. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder had like over 700 million. Black Panther had over 800 million. Yeah, Quantumania was a little bit lower than they wanted it to do, but it was kind of in the same ballpark as most of the Ant-Man films. Guardians of the Galaxy was 800 million. Like, the movies that they've been putting out, it's not like they've been losing hundreds of millions of dollars on these films. They just haven't been hitting that average billion dollar mark like they were in the past. And will they ever get back to that? I don't know, because they were the greatest of all time. Can they get back to being the greatest of all time again? That is a hard feat to match. But this does give them a shot at getting back to being the box office champs, at least if you're making content or making product that people are invested in and they can keep up with, like they were able to do in phases 1 and 3. I think that gives them a really good chance to come back on top. And what this also does is it gives us fans a chance to long for Marvel content again. One thing that I'm finding this year, with only having Deadpool and Wolverine come out in 2025, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that void of Marvel content. And yeah, we got X-Men 97 on Disney Plus, and like I said, we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. But I'm just this 1 year break alone, I am feeling Marvel withdraw a little bit. I'm kind of disappointed that there's not another Marvel movie coming out in the fall, or there wasn't one that came out in the spring or anything like that. Like, I'm so accustomed to going to see like at least 4 Marvel films a year. So the fact that they've taken this year off and we've got fans longing and taking a little bit of a breather of like, Oh man, that was a lot of Marvel. I'm kind of done with Marvel for a little bit. This gives them that chance to let the fans kind of recoup, let the audience recoup, and then come back stronger than ever. And with this plan laid out, with this detailed slate that Bob Iger and Marvel have put together, I think that this is the right move. I think this is the right direction, and I think that this is just going to benefit Marvel and the fans and their franchise overall. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going back to just, 2 movies, maybe 3 movies a year, and only 2 shows on Disney+? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions, guys. And with that said, we're just going to take your live comments and questions now. I know we've got a lot of backed up questions here, so I appreciate all you guys' patience, all of your waiting. And we are going to start with Michael101591 saying, "Hey, Zach." Hello, Michael101591. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Sully Streams, thanks for joining us, Sully. Saying, "Just got out of Planet of the Apes. I'm a happy man." That is awesome. I love hearing that. That is what we want to hear, my friend. Perfect. Toxic Gamer 331 saying, "Yeah, I love Wreck-It Ralph." Yeah, the first one's pretty good. Michael1151 says, "I gotta say, I like the new Superman suit." Yeah, I like it too. It's a Superman suit. It looks like Superman, and I like the emblem. I think the best. I think the emblem looks really good, and I kind of like the lining going down his sleeves too. Angie Reviews saying, "I haven't been to any theater since before the pandemic. Now I just wait for everything to come out on a streaming service." I mean, you're not alone in that. I know many people in my life who don't even go to the theater anymore. They just wait for, not the streamers, the movie theater, not the theaters. What am I trying to say here? The movie studios. Sorry. The movie studios did it to themselves. They did it to themselves. I mean, they kind of abandoned the theatrical window, and they're just like, yeah, we'll put a movie out, but in 3 weeks it's going to be on Disney Plus, or in 3 weeks it's going to be on HBO Max, or in 4 weeks it's going to be on Peacock or somewhere. I don't know. And they just got the audience accustomed to, why do I have to spend, if I have a family of 5, over $100 to go see that movie, when in 4 weeks my family could be sitting here in our pajamas, or I could be sitting here alone in my underwear, whichever one you prefer, and just watch it at home on the couch. Watch it on Disney Plus. Watch it on HBO Max in like a month. Like a lot of people with their jobs, with their social lives, whatever that's like having. Those who don't just live on YouTube and don't just live on the internet and talk about movies constantly all the time as their hobby, like we like to do. Those people, a month, 2 months flies by. I'm anticipating this movie. I can wait a month or 2. I got so much other stuff going on in my life. I'm not even going to notice that I missed it in the theaters. I hear that so many times from so many people. "Oh, that's already out on VOD. Oh, that's already out on the streaming service. I thought that was just in theaters." Like for us online who are like devouring every piece of information, every delay, every release date. Like, yeah, we keep up with everything and we anticipate going to the movies for sure. But the average person, nope. And it's just been easier because a lot of the times you're not even waiting 90 days anymore for the theatrical window to end. It's out in like 50 days. And that is like nothing to some people. So I don't blame you for that at all. I don't blame you for not going to a theater since the pandemic. Especially the pandemic did that a lot too, because no one could go to the movie theater. So we all got accustomed to just watching the streaming services on our couches. And I do think that it's going to take a lot for the movie studios and the theaters to bounce back from that, and they have to do something to change their course. They have to be strict to a theatrical window again. Like, hey, you know what? This isn't coming out on streaming for like 6 months, or this isn't coming out on streaming for a year. Oh, I can't watch that on streaming for a year. I can't watch that for 6 months. Yeah, I'm going to go check it out in theaters. They got to do something because they're just leaving money on the table, to be honest. Toxic Gamer 331 says, "What is your biggest disappointment of the year so far for movies?" My biggest disappointment of the year so far for movies, it's a good question. Probably, let's take a look at Letterboxd really quickly. Let's just take a look at what I've seen. Because there wasn't really anything that I was anticipating that disappointed me. ISS was kind of disappointing, but not like super disappointing to me. Kung Fu Panda 4 was slightly disappointing. I thought it was still good though. Civil War was kind of disappointing. I wasn't huge on Civil War. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. And Yeah, I'll go Civil War. So far, Civil War has been the most disappointing for me. And what was the most surprising? Probably the most surprising was Abigail. Abigail probably surprised me the most because I loved it. I loved Abigail, and I wasn't really anticipating Abigail, so I liked it a lot. Energy Reviews says I still haven't watched Abigail yet, but I look forward to it. Yeah, I hope you have a great time when you watch it, dude. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Tox Gamer 51 says, and also, what is your current ranking of every movie you've seen this year so far? I can't do that, man. I can't rank them right here, right now. It would take too long, and I don't fully know. The Laser says that's a real clip. It's in the PG version of the Deadpool trailer. I did not watch the PG version of the Deadpool trailer. I only watched the R-rated. That's interesting. Tox Gamer 51 says, yeah, it was real. It was in the full-length Deadpool and Wolverine trailer you saw and reacted to, at least that I can remember. Oh, no. The Ant-Man suit and the skull was definitely there. I remember that. I don't remember the line of Deadpool saying Paul Rudd finally aged. I've not heard that, and I did not see that. Like in the trailer the one that I did a reaction to, the Ant-Man body and the skull and the helmet was there. Yeah, and Cassandra Nova comes out of it. And I'm pretty sure Deadpool and Wolverine are jumping into the portal out of the Ant-Man skull. But I did not hear that line. So I watched that trailer like 20 times, so I know for a fact that Deadpool does not say Paul Rudd finally aged in that trailer. So that's the part that I was not aware of. Let's see here. We got Toxic Gamer 51 saying, I think Bourne Legacy also is underrated, and here's a hot take. It's my second favorite Bourne movie. Ooh, that is a hot take. You know what? I've never seen Bourne Legacy, now that I think about it. I only watched the three with... Oh, no, I watched the original 3 with Matt Damon, and then I watched Jason Bourne with Matt Damon when they did like the fourth film, or the fifth film. But I never saw Bourne Legacy. So my favorite Bourne film is probably Bourne Supremacy. I remember really liking that one. I gotta watch those again though. I only watched them once. Nathan Jenner Movies says, I am watching through The Boys show for the first time, and I am loving it. Yeah, The Boys was just a little bit too much for me. It was a little bit too much content that I'm not comfortable consuming. So I stopped after the second episode. But a lot of people love The Boys. Red Comics says, I thought 6 Underground was awful and Gemini Man was okay. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Film is all subjective, and our experiences were different. But... yours is just as valid as mine. And like I said, maybe I have to watch 6 Underground again. Maybe it was awful, but when I did watch it, I only watched it once back when it came out. I thought it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it for the most part. I really liked the sequence with the magnet on the boat. I thought that was really cool, if I'm remembering that correctly. But Gemini Man, I thought was a snooze. I thought Gemini Man was so boring, and just a poorly shot movie. The Laser, help me Google, you're my only hope. Yeah, you like that? I was proud when I thought that up. I thought it was kind of funny. Oh, what did I do? There we go. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm glad you liked it, man. I love when people comment on things that I've done for the show or an edit that I've made or something. It's always fun to get that kind of feedback, so I appreciate that. Taxi with 51 says, what is your thoughts on the Rotten Tomatoes controversy with including the audience scores instead of the critics' reviews? I actually haven't heard that. Is that a new controversy, or is that just a controversy in general? Including the audience scores instead of the critics' reviews. Did Rotten Tomatoes switch it up? Do they not do critic reviews anymore? Hold on, one sec. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to Google. I'm gonna look up a Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see here. What should we look up? Maybe, why can't I? My mouse isn't working. There we go. Maybe we just do Fall Guy. Fall Guy Rotten Tomatoes. And let's see, cuz this would be a new movie, right? So they would be let's see here. Fall Guy, they have 82, they have 87 for the audience. They usually have the critic reviews down here. It looks like they still have critic reviews up. So I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure. Oh, wait a minute. These are critic reviews. These are audience reviews. Okay. So they've added audience reviews? Interesting. As long as there's some kind of like vetting to what the audience, how the audience can review. But I don't know how you would like anyone can go in here and just review. That's interesting. But has that always been a thing, or am I just been living under a rock? I'm not quite sure. Could be better with more editing and minor tweaks. Jumped the Shark Tank too many times. All right. Interesting. I don't have full thoughts on that yet. I will say I'll have to think about that a little bit more. Oh, look at that. I did all that just to say Toxic Gamer says I meant the critic score. Including the critic scores instead of the critic review. I'm still not fully, not quite sure. I'm sorry. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. DJ's Family of Nerds, what's going on, DJ? Beloved channel member, beloved friend. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Saying just jumping in to say hi and leave a like. Gotta go to bed, but I hope all is well. Have a great stream. Well, thank you so much, dude. I hope you're doing well yourself. And the show was still made better because you were a part of it, my friend. And I appreciate you being here. Nathan's Venom Movie says, thoughts on Jonathan Nolan wanting to return to do The Dark Knight 4. I don't think it'll ever happen. I think, The Dark Knight trilogy, I think you just leave it as a trilogy. I don't really see Christian Bale having any anticipation to return. I know some people were. I don't really care to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt's continuation as Robin, as Batman, whatever he was going to be. Not really interested in seeing that continuation. I think you just let the Dark Knight trilogy rest, I really don't think that Christopher Nolan would come back to do the Dark Knight 4. And the DC, DC's moving on. They've got the Batman. They've got another Batman coming with the DCU. They don't need a third or fourth Batman that we've already had before. I say just let it rest. I don't think they should do it. And you're at the risk of, the Dark Knight it was such a time. That whole trilogy was such a lightning in a bottle type trilogy for superhero films at the time. I don't believe that they would do it the same way again in The Dark Knight 4. I think the superhero landscape has changed a bit more, and I just don't see anyone else wanting to do it. So if they were going to announce a Dark Knight 4, I would be very intrigued, and of course I would go see it. But I just don't believe that it would happen. And Jonathan Nolan, the fact that he wants to do it, I think that's great. Maybe he can convince Christopher Nolan to do it. If anyone can convince Christopher Nolan to do it, it's probably Jonathan Nolan. But I would say there's a very, very, very low chance that we'll ever see The Dark Knight 4. Red Comics saying, I'm glad about this reassurance for the MCU. It makes me wonder if Blade will be delayed again. I've never stopped loving the MCU, and I can't stop the hate, but they've for sure got hits coming. Deadpool and Wolverine. Heck yeah, man. Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't believe Blade's a movie anymore, to be honest with you. I know. They have a writer. They've got Mahershala Ali. They have it going, blah, blah, blah. I just don't believe in it. I think it's very, very possible it was silently killed. I really do. Now, I'm not going to be surprised if it still comes out. I'm not going to fall out of my seat if it still happens. But if you're asking me if I think it's going to happen, whether that it's not going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. Hope I'm wrong. I probably am. Hope I am. Nathan's Random Movie says, how would you rank David Leitch's films? I would go Hobbs and Shaw, Atomic Blonde, Bullet Train, The Fall Guy, John Wick, and Deadpool 2. Yeah, I meant to try to catch up on David Leitch movies before Fall Guy, and I just never got around to it. So I have not seen Atomic Blonde, and I still have not seen Bullet Train. But if you want me to rank what I have seen, from the best to the worst, John Wick is definitely the best, followed by Deadpool 2, then Fall Guy, then Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't seen the other two yet, though, so that's all I can give you for now, my friend. Toxic with you says, now I'm editing a video while watching you at the same time. Wow, dude, I'm so honored to be a part of your multitasking, and you keep including me in it, dude. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great time editing, and hope you're having a great time here. Red Comic says, having the shows be separate from the movies is the best thing to do. Daredevil Born Again sounds so promising, and I think we're all hoping Sony lets Marvel make Spider-Man 4 street level. I definitely am. I love Toby. I love Andrew. I love No Way Home. Don't do it again. Wait till Secret Wars. Wait till something. Don't do it in Spider-Man 4. Don't just try to recapture. No. If the rumors are true, these are all rumors. These are all speculation. It was never confirmed by Sony or Marvel that these are the actual conflicts that they're having, trying to figure out with Spider-Man. But if you're asking me what I prefer, the street level Spider-Man 4 sounds much more intriguing to me. And yeah, I've always thought the Disney Plus shows, make them like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you watch them, you're a fan, you get bonus content, you get extra thrills. If you're a casual fan, nothing in the movies affects it. Nothing from the show affects the movies. That's how you should do it. I honestly believe that. Disney Plus should just be Bonus content for the hardcores, but not necessity for the general audience. And that means like whoever, if they're introducing a new character on Disney Plus, that's where they live. You don't bring that character into the movies, which may be like, look, Miss Marvel. I love Miss Marvel, and I loved seeing Miss Marvel in the Marvels. I truly believe that movie was hurt because they brought Disney Plus characters into the movies, and not everyone watched the Disney Plus shows, so they didn't feel like they were caught up, and they went and they didn't go see the movie. That's honestly what I think was a big contributor to it not doing very well. So don't do that again. Nathan John Movie says, unfortunately for me, Transformers 1 comes out on my birthday. Who knows, though? It could be a great, although it looks like a Netflix animated movie. Yeah. Was not a fan of the trailer. Did not think it looked good. Did I have that up there the whole time? Oh, when I do the clip outs, people are going to think I'm bragging or something. Whoopsie. Anyways. Yeah, no. I didn't think it looked good for kids. It looked good if you're under the age of 10. But for me, not into it. Not into it. Red Comic says, yes, I feel that withdrawal too, but it feels weird because it also is a good thing. It is a good thing. Like I feel the withdrawal for sure, but it just makes me anticipate when like we get the movies again next year. Like I can't wait for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Can't wait for the Thunderbolts. Like can't wait for Fantastic Four. Like my anticipation for those movies has gone up now because we where is it? Where's Marvel? Marvel, where are you? It's not here this year, except for Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, which you could argue is more of a Fox Marvel movie, but we'll see. We'll see. Tox Gamer 331 says it's the highlights video of Anarchy in the Arena PPV. It's the highlights video of Anarchy in the Arena PPV. Sorry, I'm not sure what we're talking about. The Laser, also not a movie question, but it's with a song I've listened to. It's called You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins, and my dad played it for me and my baby brother, and ever since I have played it on loop. Is that that's from Tarzan, right? You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins is from Tarzan. Yeah, that's a good song. That's a real good song. And I loved it in Tarzan. When I was a kid, I listened to that song quite a bit. It was on a CD that my parents had burned for me. Do you guys remember burning CDs? Putting songs on a CD and writing on Sharpie? Zach's favorite songs or something? But yeah, that's a good song. It's a really good song. Toxic Gamer with 331 says, what was the last great Pixar movie in your opinion, Zach? The last great Pixar movie. Ooh, that's tricky. Going back to Google. We're going to Google. Pull up Google because I don't remember Pixar movies very well. What was the last great one? We'll just put where am I going? Well, we'll put Pixar movies because I know that the last couple I wasn't a huge fan of. Like Inside Out was honestly probably the last great one. Toy Story 4 though was actually really good too, and Toy Story 4 was after Inside Out because 2019 I believe was Toy Story 4. So Toy Story 4 is definitely a contender. Elemental I thought was fine. Soul I thought was okay. Lightyear I didn't really like all that much, to be honest with you. Onward was okay. I think Toy Story 4 because I wasn't a big fan of Turning Red either. So I'm gonna go with Toy Story 4. Yep, we're gonna go with that. I think that was the last truly like great Pixar movie, and I think that Inside Out 2 has the potential of being the next great Pixar movie. So we'll see how it goes. Dakota Bay Movie says, hello, just came back from Planet of the Apes, 8.5 out of 10. Awesome, dude. Then welcome back. Also, I've been going for as long as Planet of the Apes. Wow, that's awesome. Some of you guys have been watching me for as long as Planet of the Apes is, so I appreciate that so much. I will be thinking about that when I'm in the movie, hopefully tomorrow night when I'm in the Planet of the Apes movie. I'll be thinking about how people watch this entire show during the duration of this movie. That's amazing. Thank you to anyone who did that, by the way. And I love 8.5 out of 10. That's a very, very good score. I'm very excited. Talks Gamer 331 says, have you ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Matthew Broderick? If so, what are your thoughts? Bueller. Yeah, I love it. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That is probably my favorite John Hughes movie that I've seen. I think it's just so much fun. It is not so much anymore, but in high school and middle school, it was my go-to sick day movie. Like, if I felt sick, if I was staying home from school sick, I put on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was just like the perfect movie for those days. Oh, so good. Toxky151 says, what are your thoughts on Brothers with Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal? Ooh, underrated. Underrated. Maybe the movie as a whole isn't underrated, but Tobey Maguire's performance is underrated. When he destroys that kitchen, and the flashbacks to what he went through when he was captured is it's so intense. Great drama. I thought it was a great drama film, and Jake Gyllenhaal, Tobey Maguire, they're great. Tobey Maguire definitely stands out more in my mind in that movie than Jake Gyllenhaal does, but they were both fantastic, and I really liked that movie. Only saw it once a couple of years ago, but I remember really liking it. Nathan's Red Movie says, Civil War is my favorite movie of the year to me thus far. I know that is a hot take, but I stand by it. You own that hot take, man. You own it. That's awesome. Never apologize for what you like. Toxicgamer331 says, I never saw Gemini Man. I remember being really excited for it, though. Yeah, don't recommend it. Toxicgamer331 says, do you like sushi, Zach? I don't mind sushi, but every time I eat sushi, I don't feel great. So I enjoy it in the moment, but afterwards, I don't feel so great. Is that too much information? I don't care. Toxicgamer331 says, Five Nights at Freddy's was originally at a 35%. Now it's at an 87%. For what? For Rotten Tomatoes? I'm not quite sure. Nathan John Movie says, my brother loved The Fall Guy. I really liked it and the romance in it, but the mystery and reveal is a bit too predictable. Completely agree. And I feel like they started to get into that a little bit too late in the movie for me. Talking with you one says, it's at a 35% with critics and was the original score. If you looked the movie up now, it has an 87%, which the audience did mostly love it. Five Nights at Freddy's on Rotten Tomatoes. Five Nights at Freddy's, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what you're talking about here. It's got a 32% on the critic score and 87% on the audience score. Are you saying that like fake audience members just rated the movie up or something? I'm not quite sure. What we're trying to talk about here. To be honest, I'm sorry. The Laser, have you watched Knuckles? I thought the show was a letdown. I wanted the show to focus on Knuckles getting used to Earth, but instead it was about Wade in a bowling tournament in Reno. It's the Wade show. Yeah, man, I put up a review for the Knuckles show, actually. I spent all of, what was it? It was Friday night. I spent from 10 o'clock to 1 in the morning watching the first half, and then I finished it like at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and I think I got my review up for Knuckles on Saturday afternoon because I was trying to get it quick, but I wanted to turn that off so many times. It was such a chore to get through. I thought it was bad. I didn't like it all that much. You can check out my review for more thoughts, but I didn't like it all that much. Toxicgamer331 says, also speaking, have you seen Five Nights at Freddy's movies yet? I have not. I think I might save Five Nights at Freddy's for a Halloween watch commentary. I think that'd be a fun one to do, but I have not seen it yet. Toxicgamer331 says, what do you think is an underrated Marvel and DC character and an overrated DC and Marvel character? Off the top of my head, dude, I honestly don't know. I can't answer that right now. I'm sorry. Toxicgamer331 says, what's an embarrassing food that many people have tried all the time but you have never tried? An embarrassing food that people have tried, but I've never tried. What's an embarrassing food? I don't know. That is a really interesting question. An embarrassing food. What's an embarrassing food? I've never had a bean sprout. I don't know. I don't know. Is bean sprouts real? One sec. Are bean sprouts real? Did I just make that up? I didn't just make that up, right? I'm going to look at bean sprout. I'm pretty sure I've heard of them before, but they're sounding fictional in my mind. Oh, no, it comes in a can. Bean sprout. Yeah. I don't think people would eat that, though. If you're looking at what I'm looking at, I don't think people eat these. Maybe not. Maybe they do. Green sprout. Do you guys eat these? I don't know. Pretty embarrassing if you do. I'm just saying. I've never tried it. But if you eat these, well, that's pretty embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be you. It's a pretty embarrassing food to be eaten. Anyways, Red Comic says, have you ever seen the Underworld franchise? That's a difficult one for me because I like the concept, tone, and Kate Beckinsale's character, but the movies themselves are very bad. I've heard they're very bad, so I've never watched them personally. Michael 101591 says, are you seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? I'm hoping to see it tomorrow. Very excited. Nathan Van Movie says, which Edgar Wright film is the best to you? I can't listen to the song Don't Stop Me Now without thinking about Shaun of the Dead now. I mean, he's got so many good... Shaun of the Dead is up there. I really like World's End. I thought that was a fun one. Of course, you've got Hot Fuzz. Probably Baby Driver, though. Baby Driver is probably my favorite one. Because, yeah, it's just great. It's just great. I love Baby Driver. Talking with you one says, what are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four movie with Chris Evans? I haven't seen them in a very long time. Tim Story's Fantastic Four is what you're referring to. I haven't seen them in a very long time. I watched them both in theaters when I was a kid with my dad. And I remember liking them quite a bit when I was a kid. And then I think the last time I tried watching them was in middle school. And I don't think I got all the way through Rise of the Silver Surfer. So I don't know. I'd have to update my thoughts on those ones. But you know what? I own them on Blu-ray. And before Fantastic Four 2025 comes out, I do plan on rewatching them. So we'll see. We'll see what I think of those. But in my memory, I remember them being okay. The best Fantastic Four movies we've had up until this point, for sure. The Laser. I have every Pixar movie memorized. Nice, dude. I do not. I've not seen Luca. I've not seen what was that? They did two on Disney Plus, I think, because I saw Turning Red. I didn't see Luca. I saw Soul. There's a couple Pixar movies I'm behind on watching, but I can't remember which ones they are. But I have no. Oh, I haven't seen. Oh no, yeah, I saw Cars 3. I think I saw Cars 3. Maybe I didn't see Cars 3. I don't know that I saw Cars 3. Nathan's Better Movie says, which one is better, Dawn of the Dead 2004 or Shaun of the Dead 2004? Well, they're both zombie movies, but they're also different genres. But I'm gonna go with Shaun of the Dead. I think Shaun of the Dead is a much more enjoyable movie for me. But I also do like what Zack Snyder did with that Dawn of the Dead movie. So don't get me wrong. I think it's good. But I'm going Shaun of the Dead. If you're asking me to put on a movie right now, which one would it be? It would be Shaun of the Dead. Talks Game with You 1 says, what I was saying was I was editing a video of the highlights of Anarchy in the Arena PPV where you and the Zacks face the Spoiler Kings in the main event. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I go through this chat so fast. Some people would argue that I don't go through this chat very fast, which would be fair. But I go through it fast, and sometimes I forget things that happened in the past. But yes, thank you. Red Comic says, would you rather live in Gotham or Metropolis? Is that even a question? Metropolis. Absolutely Metropolis. Have you seen Gotham? It sucks in Batman 89. It sucks in the Batman. It sucks in the Dark Knight. And it sucks in even Lego Batman. So, no, I'm not moving to Gotham. I'm staying far, far, far away from Gotham. But Metropolis, that's a nice, bright, sunny little city. I will move there. That looks great. And you know what? You get to see Superman flying around. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. I'd be terrified to see Batman. You don't want to see Batman. Have you seen that with D? I would rather live in Metropolis because if I lived in Gotham and jaywalked, Batman would break my legs and jaw and not even cover my hospital bills. Oh, beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is perfect. That's so funny. Toxic Game with 331 says, I'm going to be heading out now. Great stream as always from a great guy. I hope you enjoy Kingdom and have a nice rest of your day or night. And everyone always remember pizza time. Yeah, man. Well, it's nighttime for me, but thank you so much, dude, for being here. Thank you for joining us and for contributing in the chat as always, my friend. The show was made better because you were a part of it, and I appreciate you so much, dude. Have a great night. We've got the Laser saying, Pixar movies in 2020 is Onward, Soul, Luca, Turning Red, Lightyear, Elemental, and Inside Out 2. You didn't like any of those? Soul changed my life. No. I didn't say that I didn't like any of those. Where did I go? I liked Onward. Onward was fine. I enjoyed it. I liked Soul. It was okay. I didn't see Luca. I didn't like Turning Red. Lightyear, I thought, had a great first act, and then I just thought it became so generic and kind of boring for the rest of it, so not a big fan of Lightyear. Elemental was fine. I liked Elemental fine enough. It was trying to be the first Pixar romance film, and I just never really got behind the romance, and that was a big problem for me. And then Inside Out 2 hasn't come out yet, but I think I'll like it. So it's not that I didn't like any of those. Don't get me wrong. What was that? What just happened to my voice? Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of them. Red Comics says, do you hope Ryan Reynolds does more Deadpool projects in the MCU? I think there should be a Deadpool corpse cartoon in the style of What If. Marvel have a new animation section after all. I do want to see more Deadpool, but I don't want to oversaturate Deadpool. I don't want the MCU to become the Deadpool show, or for Deadpool to even be that big of a thing of the MCU. Deadpool needs to be kept its own special thing. Like, I am totally okay with Deadpool having crossover events with characters, fine. But don't overdo it with Deadpool. I'll put it like, one of the great things about Deadpool is we had Deadpool 1 back in 2016. We waited 2 years. We got Deadpool 2 in 2018. Both really fun, enjoyable flicks. And now we've waited, like, what is it? Holy crap, is it 7 years? How long has it been? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's been like 6 years. We've been 6 years without Deadpool, and now we're getting more Deadpool. Don't overdo it with Deadpool. But I do think that we'll get more projects with Deadpool in the MCU. And sometimes it might be for better, and sometimes it might be for worse. We'll have to wait and see. Red Comic says the most overrated character of all time is Harley Quinn. I can't stand her. Wow. Okay, fair enough. Hot takes a little bit there. I like the Harley Quinn character. I like her a lot in the Batman animated series, and I do really enjoy Margot Robbie's portrayal of the Harley Quinn character in the live action movies. So I wouldn't say she's overrated. I can't think of a DC character that's overrated at the moment. I also gotta get into DC Comics more, man. I haven't read too much DC Comics, too many DC characters. I'm trying to get more into comics this year. I've got the Marvel Unlimited app and the DC Infinity or Infinite, whatever it's called, app on my phones with like 30,000 free comics and all that stuff. So I'm slowly but surely getting into comics a little bit more, trying to anyways. So that's definitely a blind spot for me, though. I gotta get into those more. Dakota Man Movie says Elemental is my least favorite Pixar movie. Fair enough, dude. Like, I know people who hate that movie. I definitely don't hate that movie, but I enjoy it. The Laser says Lego Batman movie is my favorite Batman. I have so many memories of watching it. I have watched it over 30 times, and it's so funny with great versions of these characters and amazing villains and jokes. I adore the Lego Batman movie. I love the Lego Batman movie too. I watched it again actually a couple months back, and it still holds up. It's still funny. It's still the best spoof movie we've gotten in the last number of years. Lego Batman is awesome. You won't hear any different from me. Collector Movie Man says I also just picked up Moon Knight, the Disney Plus TV show, on 4K. It cost me an arm and a leg though. It was $44.99. Honestly, that's a good price. $44.99 for Moon Knight. I feel like, well, I mean, it's also probably like different, what are they called? Currency rates. But I believe I spent $60 on WandaVision. And I believe that was another $70 for Loki. Yeah, it was like $60-$70 for WandaVision and Loki each. So $44.99 for Moon Knight. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm planning on picking up Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure, Moon Knight, because I gotta complete my MCU collection, and the Disney Plus shows are included in that, so I gotta get them in there. So I'm definitely planning on picking up Moon Knight and Falcon Winter Soldier. I do want to pick up Andor and Obi-Wan though, and it's like $200 to get all of those. So I have to pick and choose right now, and I think I'm gonna get Falcon and Winter Soldier to start with, and then I'll slowly get the other ones as they come out. But that's awesome, man. Moon Knight wasn't my favorite Disney Plus show. I had a lot of issues with it, but it was a cool concept, and I would be up for a season 2 if they were able to fix some of the issues. Have you seen that with T says Lego Batman is so good. It's so good. I love it. It's so good. The Laser. I think Mufasa the Lion King will make $600 million. Remember, Alice in Wonder made $1.025 billion worldwide, and Alice Through the Looking Glass made $299 million. So Mufasa doesn't have a chance to make $1 billion. Well, are we comparing apples to apples or apples to oranges? Because I would argue Alice in Wonderland is nowhere near as loved as The Lion King. Now, it's all subjective. You can debate that if you want to, but I think people remember The Lion King way more fondly and talk about The Lion King way more often then I hear people talking about Alice in Wonderland. And Alice in Wonderland, it made 1.25 billion. It also wasn't the most loved movie, though. I actually watched that for the first time a couple weeks ago. My wife showed it to me for the first time. It was fine. It did not give me any desire to watch Alice Through the Looking Glass, though. So, The Lion King, I think, is such a bigger name and a bigger IP. I don't think you can really compare it to the Alice in Wonderland. Now, it's true they both came out with live-action versions, and they both made $1 billion, but I think Mufasa still has that Lion King attachment to it that people may still go to it. I think if it's really good, especially, and families for sure, I think are going to check it out. It's definitely going to make more than 299 million, that's for sure. But I don't think it's going to have that big of a drop from 1 billion. And you also have to think too, like Mufasa. When does Mufasa come out? Whoa, what just happened to my hair? I'm looking crazy tonight. When does Mufasa come out? Mufasa release date. I feel like I already looked this up. December 18th. Ooh, Christmas time. That bodes really well for it. It comes out December 18th, 2024. Now, it also will have competition because I believe Sonic 3 is going to be coming out around that time too. So it's going to be interesting to see which families go to which and kids, which ones go to which. But the Christmas time, I think Mufasa is going to do very well around that time for sure. Space Viper, what's going on? Thanks for joining, dude. Says, thoughts on the other guys. Oh, with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. I enjoy it. It's pretty funny. My wife loves it. It's one of my wife's favorite comedy movies. We put it on actually quite often around here. I think it's very funny. I love the dynamic between Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell in it. I think Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the beginning are hilarious, and their death sequence kills me every time it happens. Michael Keaton's also pretty funny in the film too. Kind of underrated performance from him in there. Yeah, the other guys, it's good. I enjoy it quite a bit. I saw that in theaters. My dad took me. I had to beg my dad to take me because I believe it came out in 2010, I want to say. Actually, it might have been a little bit older than that. Might have been a little bit older than 2010. When did the other guys come out? I think it's around there. Maybe 2009. The other guys, no, it's 2010. The other guys, 2010. So I was 11. So it was a PG-13 movie. I wasn't quite 13 yet, but I was begging my dad to let me go see it because I really wanted to see it. It looked so funny. And then the scene where the grandma is going between Will Ferrell and his wife and just exchanging those nasty comments. I remember my dad covering my ears during that scene, and I didn't comprehend what any of it meant. I didn't know what they were saying to each other, but I do remember my dad covering my ears during that scene. And then I watched it when I got older and was like, oh, okay. But yeah, the other guys is funny. I like the other guys. Kenny Sparks, what's going on, Ken? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Always great to see you in here. Saying the Lego Batman is fantastic. Yeah, man. I love it. It's such a good movie. Also saying hello to the family. Hey, family, what's going on? Thanks for joining us, Ken. It's always great to see you in here, my friend. Collector Movie Man saying, Friday I have the Obi-Wan Disney Plus TV show, the complete series on 4K, and it was another arm and a leg. It came up to $50 because Walmart charges $4.99, and it will be arriving on Friday. Awesome, dude. $50 is good though. Like, I know you're saying arm and a leg, but honestly, these prices you're saying, they're pretty decent, especially for these shows and the steelbooks. Like, they all come in like these. Well, I think the 4Ks come in nice steelbook editions. I don't think the standard Blu-rays do, but that's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. I hope to get that myself one day. Red Comic says, what color lightsaber would you want? I want green. I mean, I like the blue. Don't get me wrong. I like blue, and red looks cool, and Samuel L. Jackson's purple looks cool, but green. When Luke busted out that green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, that was like my first little geekgasm when I was younger. Like, they can be green. I loved it. I loved that green lightsaber, and yeah, the green lightsaber to me is iconic. Like, the blue is nice, but the green, I love the green. I'd love to get a green lightsaber. The laser says, what did the traffic light say to the other one? Look away, I'm changing. Not your best, man. Not your best. Punny, but not your best. I see what you're going for there, though. Collector Movie Man says December 20th they showed a trailer for it at the new Planet Apes movie. Oh, okay. December 20th is for Mufasa. Thanks, man. Thanks for letting me know. Space Viper says I watched it for the first time recently and had an absolute blast with it. Oh, the other guys? Nice, man. I'm glad you watched that for the first time. It's a good one. It's a good one. Dakota Man Movie says my theater showed the trailer for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes before Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's funny. That's really funny. I can't think of a time that's happened to me. I can't think of a time where I was in a movie about to watch it and then they played the trailer for it. I mean, I guess you caught an early enough screening. I mean, it technically doesn't come out till tomorrow night, and Friday night is like the official release. So I guess they just played a trailer package from one of the movies that's already in the theaters. I don't know why that would be. That's really funny though, because usually don't the trailer packages get sent with the movie itself from the studios to the theaters? So that's really funny that happened. I can't think of a time that's ever happened to me. Kenny Sparks saying I'm a fan of the green lightsaber as well. Nice, man. Yeah, that green lightsaber, man, it's just superior. Collector Movie Man says I already have Andor on 4K, so I only have one more I have to get, and that's the Winter Falcon and Winter Soldier and Falcon. And this guy follow YouTube who collects physical media. Like follow you? Yeah, Collector Movie Man. Follow Collector Movie Man. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. I'm sorry, man. I lost it. What you're saying. Kenny Sparks saying, Zach, have you watched any of the Tales of the Empire? I watched the first episode and enjoyed it. I've not watched it. Honestly, full disclosure, I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know it was. I had no idea. I didn't see a trailer for it. I didn't see any marketing for it. Didn't hear an announcement for it. Maybe I just forgot about it. But I don't really pay attention to the animated side of Star Wars very often, to be honest with you. So this is the first I'm really, well, not the first I'm hearing about it. The first I heard about it was John Campea made a community post saying that he thinks it's one of the best things Star Wars has done in animation. So definitely has my my attention. I probably will end up checking out an episode or two, but I have not checked it out yet, and I am very surprised that it's a thing. I had no idea where it came from. The Laser. Things Pixar will announce at D23 on August 9th, 2024. Are we getting a prophecy here? Are you telling us the future right now, dude? Toy Story 5 plot and casting. Spoiler alert, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Incredibles 3, Coco 2, and Finding Nemo 3 confirmation with more original content like Ducks, Pixar's first musical rumor. Interesting. Okay. I'll tell you right now, one of the things I don't like is Coco 2. Don't do Coco 2. I mean, look, you could make it great. Maybe you'll make a better movie than Coco. Maybe you will. For me personally, though, I like Coco the way it is. I love Coco. Coco is so freaking good. And it feels like a good one and done. You know? It doesn't really feel like a one that lends itself to many sequels. Now, the people at Pixar are brilliant. They're geniuses. Way more than this guy is. This guy ain't no genius. This guy ain't no brilliant genius. So they could probably come up with an idea that will blow my mind. But as it sits right now, Coco 2, I would not be excited about an announcement for that. I like the way it is. Toy Story 5, the plot and casting, maybe. It's possible. But the movie doesn't come out. Isn't the movie coming out like 2026 or something? I feel like it's a little bit too early for them to give a plot and casting if they're going to do it in August of this year. Announce Incredibles 3, that's very possible. Announce Finding Nemo 3, that's very possible. I think it would be bizarre if they did, but and this Ducks Pixar musical, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it sounds like you're in the loop a lot more than I am when it comes to Pixar, dude. So that's awesome. Collector Movement says, and he has inside. Oh, I see. You were saying that you're following. You're following. Let me read that again. And I lost it. Here we go. You follow this guy on YouTube who collects physical media, and he has inside to new 4K releases and Blu-ray from studios, and he found out that Boba Fett and 2 other Disney Plus shows are coming out later on this year on 4K and Blu-ray. Oh, do I buy Book of Boba Fett just for completion's sake? No, I don't. I don't think I will. The next one that comes out, though, I bet you they're going to do Miss Marvel, and I'm going to pick up Miss Marvel. No question about it. I'm going to pick up Miss Marvel. Kenny Sparks says, I don't blame you. I saw a trailer, but I had no idea that it actually debuted. I saw the same John Campea post. That's how I found out it was out. Yeah, John Campea did way more promotion for that show than the show did, than the studio did. Hey, you said you like it. John Campea says he likes it, so I am intrigued. I'll probably end up checking it out a little bit later. Red Comics says, have you heard that there will be a live-action Scooby-Doo Netflix show? I have heard it. I was actually going to talk about it last week, and then I just ended up being unavailable to do the show last week, so we had to miss out on that. But I did have it lined up as a topic, and I'm interested. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Scooby-Doo isn't really my thing anymore. I have very fond memories. I'm very nostalgic about Scooby-Doo for sure. But it's not like I hear this news and I get jazzed. Yeah, Scooby-Doo. Like, no, I think it's great. I hope that it's for the next generation. But, there's something about it that doesn't really get me that excited because it's not the first live-action rendition of Scooby-Doo we've had. We had the James Gunn written movies back in the early aughts. We had the TV movies what was it? Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins and Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the Lake Monster, I think it was, on here in Canada it was on Teletoon, but I guess it was like a Kids WB production. I don't know. They've done live-action Scooby-Doo before. And my thought is with a live-action Scooby-Doo, it's probably going to be like one of those. It's probably going to be, because Scooby-Doo is a younger audience. Like, I can't see them doing a Scooby-Doo where it's like, this is for those who grew up with Scooby-Doo. It'll probably be a nice live-action show for the young ones who are meant for Scooby-Doo. Like I'm probably not going to check it out if the trailer looks like it's not for me. But if the trailer comes out and I'm like, that looks fun, that looks meta, that looks funny, that looks like it's for both the kids and the people who grew up with Scooby-Doo, like myself and people older than me, then I'll probably be excited. But as it is right now, I think it's cool that they're doing it, but it's not necessarily something that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, hopefully it turns out well. The laser says Coco 2 like round 2, like they die again or something. I just don't see it. I don't see how you do it. Space Viper says, I personally wasn't big on Tales of the Empire. The cameos were kind of cool and the ideas were decent, but the characters aren't big enough to make expanding them super interesting. Interesting. Okay. So they must be like, I know nothing about this show. They must be like characters that we've already seen before. Kenny Sparks says, I totally agree with you, Zach. Coco is perfect, and I really don't think we need to revisit it, but if they come up with a good story, I'll be there. Yep, that's what it comes down to. Good characters, good story, and I'll be there. That's all I need. And Pixar, if anyone's going to do it, I believe Pixar could. Red Comic says, I don't think that will ever beat the original live-action movies or the high-quality dark YouTube fan series Mystery Incorporated, which has only one episode so far. Highly recommend. Never heard of that. YouTube fan series called Mystery Incorporated. Only one episode. I might have to check that out. I mean, the original live-action movies, this may be controversial. They're not that great. I mean, I definitely have nostalgia for them. More so the second one than the first one. Even as a kid, the first one, there's something about it where it always felt a little bit off to me. And now that I know that James Gunn wrote it, a lot of it makes sense to me as to why it feels that way. I think they're fine. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed was always my favorite. It was the best one of the two. It just felt more like classic Scooby-Doo to me, and I love the way they incorporated the classic monsters into it. But for me personally, they don't hold up all that well. Just personally, that's me. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for them, especially I'm seeing a lot more love for them coming out nowadays. I guess people that grew up with them are voicing their opinions a lot more about them because they get talked about quite a bit nowadays, which is always surprising to me. But yeah, I think this show could easily surpass them, but it just has to be a good show. Dragon Movie Guy says, love the new Superman suit as long as they go back to the Christopher Reeves suit. As long as they go back to the Christopher Reeves suit? I don't know if it's, I guess Christopher Reeves had the trunks, didn't he? I guess it would be more so to the Christopher Reeves suit than anyone else's suit. That's a fair point. I didn't really pick up on that. Dragon Movie Guy says, love the live stream, Zach. Thank you so much, my friend. By the way, thank you for joining us, Dragon Movie Guy. Thank you for being here. Guys, keep a lookout. Dragon Movie Guy and I are cooking something up. We're going to be doing some fun stuff later. Content-wise. We're going to be making content later. Collective Movie Man says, I don't know if I'm going to pick up Book of Boba Fett, but the only reason I would pick it up if they release Season 3 of Mandalorian on 4K. The only reason I would pick up Book of Boba Fett is if I break down and just feel like I need it for continuity's sake. I did not like Book of Boba Fett very much at all. Space Viper says Tales of the Empire is worth a watch if you want to go deeper into lesser characters or see some of fan favorites return. Okay, interesting. Got me intrigued. Red Comic says, do you own any movies that you don't even like? The only one I have that I don't like at all is Mission Impossible 2. Yeah, I own Rise of Skywalker. There you go. I own Rise of Skywalker. I have Dumb and Dumber 2. Let me see. Let's look at my shelf really quickly and just see if there's anything that sticks out to me that I don't like. A lot of things that I have that I don't like are more so for like completion sakes. I try not to. I have Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Ugh, hate that movie. Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I own that. I own it. I'm stuck with it because I choose to be stuck with it. I have Fant 4 Stick, which I don't hate, but I don't think is great either. I got Grease 2 because it comes in a Grease double pack with Grease 1 and Grease 2. And I besides the song about reproduction, which cracked me up, I didn't really like Grease 2. And what else do I have that I could probably name off? I think we're good there. I think we can stop it there because I don't want to take up too much time just looking at movies that I don't like on my shelf. But yeah, a couple of them I have. I definitely have a couple. And there's also some that I bought because I wanted to check them out. And then I was like, oh, I didn't like that. And now it's just in my collection. Collective Movie Man says, because Grogu and the Mandalorian are in Book of Boba Fett so much and it kind of ties into season 3. That's fair. That's fair. See, that would be the completion sake. That would be me needing the completion sake. So yeah, absolutely. Collective Movie Man says, but I definitely won't buy the 4K that I'll probably buy on Blu-ray. Yeah, you don't want to, you can't give them your best. Not that movie can't deserve it. Dragon Movie Guy says, agree with you. Scooby-Doo aimed at younger audiences make tons more sense, I think. The original Scooby audience, what was kids in the 70s, would now be in their late 60s. Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about Scooby-Doo, though, is that it's so generational. Like, I grew up with it, but it wasn't mine. I had the reruns. The reruns. Like, I'm not the classic audience. But yet it feels like mine because I grew up with it. And there's kids who still grow up with Scooby-Doo. Like, and you know what? Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, I feel like sometimes we look at kiddie things and because we're older and we grew up with it, it's like, they made it terrible. But it's like, kids need stuff too. And a harmless kids show, like if this Scooby-Doo live action show ends up to me being a huge pile of garbage, but it's not made for me, it's made for a kid, and it works for the kid audience, then good for them. Like good for the creators of it, and those kids will grow up and love it and have nostalgia, and then they'll maybe grow up and realize it's trash, or maybe they'll have nostalgia and make YouTube videos 20 years from now about why the live action Scooby-Doo Netflix show was underrated or something, you know, or overhated, who knows. But yeah, it's not a bad thing if it's made for kids, but it would be awesome if it could be cross-generational, if I could get enjoyment out of it too, but we'll see. Space Viper says characters are Morgan Elizabeth from Ahsoka and Mando season 2 and some Jedi from Clone Wars. Haven't seen Clone Wars. Then I wouldn't recognize any of them. I wouldn't recognize any of them, to be honest. Collective Movie Man says, hey Zach, I hope you have a good night. I'm gonna get ready to lay down for tonight and watch some Naruto. Naruto? Am I saying that right? That's probably an anime, right? Because I'm not an anime guy. So that's fair. Well, have a good night, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being here for as long as you were. The show was made better because you were a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you, dude. Have a good night. Red Comic says, Zach, we can't be friends. I love the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. I think they do hold up. That's fair, dude. A lot of people do. You know what? Maybe what I said isn't fair because it has been a minute since I watched them. I think the last time I watched them was grade 10. I think high school. I think my first year of high school was around the time I watched. So I was like 15, 16. So we're talking a decade. The last time I watched these live-action Scooby-Doo movies was a decade ago. So you know what? I need to watch them again and see if that opinion of mine still holds. Because when I watched them a decade ago, I felt like they didn't hold up. Maybe my opinion has changed again. Maybe I got to watch them again. But if you love them, dude, I'm just happy you love them. I really am. And please continue to be my friend. You're awesome. Space Viper says 3 episodes for each character, similar to Tales of the Jedi, for a total of 6 episodes. Oh, that's pretty short. I could probably bang through those pretty fast. And Red Comics is saying all of Scooby-Doo is completely timeless. I mean, I think a lot of it is. I think there's, yeah. I mean, it is a franchise that has definitely proven its longevity, and time will tell what characters and what franchises will stand the test of time. And Scooby-Doo is definitely one of those. Scooby-Doo is definitely a franchise that has stood the test of time and will be here long after I'm gone. And then a kid will grow up thinking it was his, and they won't even think of me because I'll be dead. What am I saying? We got Red Comics saying, I'll be your friend. Thank you, Red Comics. I appreciate that. The 8th Avenue using the Spidey emoji. I got to work on some new emojis for our members because you guys deserve some more emojis, and I love when you guys use them. That is so much fun to see. Thank you so much, Ace. I love seeing that emoji pop up. All right, guys, look at that. We have got through all of the comments and questions. So what that means is that's the show. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate every single one of you for being here, for contributing to the chat, for talking with me. It's always a blast. Guys, keep a lookout. I'm going to have my Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes review coming up very shortly. And I've got a new ranking video that I'm in the works of. It's going to be up hopefully by Tuesday. Lots of stuff coming. And, of course, we've got Zach Milne Talks Live once again next week. I can't leave without talking to this guy first. We got Jacob Hubbard in here, jumping in last minute, the very last second, saying, I'm coming on here at 12:45 a.m. and you're reading Scooby-Doo comments. Yes, I am, dude. Wow, it's late for you, dude. Get some sleep. I hope you have a great night. But thank you for popping in here, my friend. Red Comment saying, great stream. Space Fiber saying it was fun joining for a bit. Good night. Angie Review saying, I hope the rest of your night is wonderful. All the same to you guys. All the same. Thank you once again. As I mentioned, Zach Milne Talks Live will return again next week. Same Zach time. Same Zach time. Same Zach channel. I can't get used to that transition.